Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Paper Dungeon. This is our intro, so we're just going to get pretty right into it. So you can remember who we all are. Let's do a quick round of introductions, name, character you play, and a fun fact about you, your character that no one knows. I'm going to start to my right on my screen. Drew.
Hi, guys. I am Drew. I am playing Taleth, the maybe human wizard. Fun fact that nobody knows about my character. He doesn't like fish.
Like eating fish or just fish in general?
Doesn't like eating fish.
Okay, eating fish. Okay, yeah. I'll allow it. Next up on my screen, Gracie, who are you? Who do you play?
I'm Gracie, and I play Addy, the fighter. Fun fact about her is that she doesn't know a fun fact this week.
Nice.
Because she isn't good at being put on the spot.
Okay. We can always have time coming back to you. You had that.
No, that's okay.
Are you sure?
That's her fun fact. That's her fun fact.
Her fun
fact is she's really sleepy today.
Okay. Next up, the only one of us that starts with a J. It's Jar Jar. Who are you? Who do you play? Fun fact about you.
Hi, I'm Jar Jar. I play Medora, the wonderful, amazing druid. Let's see. One fact about her is that she loves mushrooms.
Fantastic. Last but certainly not least of my players tonight, my good friend, starts with a G, Grant DeFore, also known as Philo Grant. Who are you? Gosh dang, who do you play? Fun fact.
My name's Grant, and I play Leslie, also known as Bear, and he is a lion shifter ranger. And a fun fact about Leslie, one time in the second grade, he was walking home from school and he found a penny, and he decided that penny was probably his lucky penny, and so he carries it around everywhere he goes.
Fantastic. We have now introduced a new currency into the world, a very exciting turn for this intro.
Penny.
Hello, everybody. I am Aaron. I am the DM for this game. Fun fact about an NPC is the waitress of the Edge Inn that you met in the last episode, whose name might be Lauren. I couldn't remember it, and I haven't had time to check, so we're going to call her Lauren. Lauren has a bachelor's degree in witchery, but also is currently attending school to pick up a degree in political sciences.
Wow.
So that's a little bit of information about Lauren, the bartender. Well, correction,
Wow.
She's a waitress, not a bartender. Very clear. Next up, I want to thank our Kickstarters, our Kickstarter backers. You are incredibly important. We would not be here without you. Keep an eye on those emails. I now have a bounty of time to make sure that we are getting stuff done. So keep an eye on those. We will be sending stuff, sending some extra info for those of you who haven't gotten it yet, and we are fast approaching deliverables for that. Additionally, content warning. This is an adult stream meant for people who are mature. There may be themes and content that are not meant for children. More so than in the last campaign. I know, it's hard to believe. If you aren't an adult or mature, questionable that you are here. We love you, but questionable. Last but certainly not least, I forgot at the end of the last episode, we leveled up. So we're going to do that really, really fast.
Let's go.
I mean, we are level 2, so I don't think that anyone is multi-classing at this point in time. No?
Raise your hand if you're multi-classing.
Okay, that's a no. We do roll our health on stream. So everyone, please roll your hit die to increase your maximum health.
Do we want to do this
one...
like one at a time, all at the same time?
We'll just announce it. Well, I'll just go around. We'll announce it. If you roll a 1, you can re-roll once. So if you roll a 1 twice in a row, then you're stuck with 1. But sounds like we have some good numbers. I'm going to start with Drew. What do we?
I rolled a 6.
What does that bring your health to, my guy?
For a wizard, brings me up to 18.
18 health on the wizard. Next up, Gracie.
I rolled a 9.
A 9, bringing your health to
35.
good. You're at level
Nice.
2. Jesus Christ.
Sorry. Did I mess it up? Wait, no, 13.
It sounds
No,
bad.
I believe you.
No, 25. Sorry, 25.
25. Math
25.
is hard.
Jesus.
Still
Guys, I'm
disgusting.
tired.
Still disgusting. Jar Jar.
I rolled a 5.
That's pretty good. What does that
Hey.
bring your health to? Remember to add your constitution to the roll.
Oh god, Constitution, I forgot. Come back to me, please.
Grant, what are we sitting at?
I rolled a 4 on a D10 because I'm a ranger, and
Woo!
I
That's
got
almost
a
average.
18 HP now at level
That is
2.
fantastic.
No
Jar Jar.
Constitution. It's just gonna be up to 13.
Nice.
Help.
Fantastic.
So
So,
I'm the lowest.
Everybody protect Medora.
well, you should have been doing that anyway.
Yeah.
But
Bring out the
now that
gold.
we are all leveled up, let's gushing hit the clip, Drew. Last time on the Paper Dungeon, our various ne'er-do-wells found themselves aboard the dream train that was currently under assault from various questionable creatures from beyond the realm of thought. 3 kind of piles of body parts that together made up a mouth, a pile of teeth, a pile of tongues, and a pile of lips. It was kind of gross. The amount of times that I said mouth in the episode messed up. Thankfully, they were able to survive the time limit, dispose of these creatures to allow for Saint Clarita, the one kind of manning the dream train at the time, to repair whatever was wrong with the engine, get them back on track. At the end of that, there was a bit of an interesting kind of view of the wonderful Drew's character. That man, Taleth, we got there, baby. It's episode 3, guys. And, there was some questionable discoveries that were made. But we kind of blew right past that and ended up on the edge. The edge is a little kind of truck stop on the edge of existence, just on the border of the murk, that they had stopped for repairs to kind of make sure that kerfuffle doesn't happen again. They stopped at the Edge Inn and met an old acquaintance of Mr. Leslie, aka Bear, although the acquaintance doesn't know that they've met again. There was a lot of conversation about who exactly Leslie is, the fact that he's kind of an idiot, and amidst the confusion and the outrage and the anger and the positivity and the slight amount of alcohol, Taleth snuck away following the one that Leslie would know as young Timothy, although he is not quite so young anymore. That is where we're going to pick up. Taleth, you are standing in the junkyard.
Mm-hmm.
The Edge is just... most of the community is founded around the idea that people are going to dispose of their trash here. There's basically a graveyard of discarded knickknacks, of ships, of buildings. Anything that is not necessary anymore is discarded right over here near the Edge. It's basically a space landfill. And you are watching as Timothy climbs aboard a kind of shabbily refurbished ship, a clipper ship. Painted on the side in faded letters is the Skirmisher. A kind of cold, dreadful wind blows towards the darkness as you watch Timothy ascend. What would you like to do?
So I assume I'm somewhat crouched behind a pile of garbage right now as I watch Timothy enter.
Absolutely.
Sirius just kind of pokes his head out from underneath my hood, and we both just kind of look around a little bit before looking at each other. And he just kind of, if a snake could shrug, he just like, and Taleth will begin to approach. Now, without like spending too much time on this, trying to like walk around the perimeter of this thing at all, can I tell at least right away any obvious like multiple points of entry or exit?
There is a rickety rope ladder, which is what Timothy used to ascend.
Okay.
Currently, the skirmisher is a quarter sunk into the garbage.
Okay.
So you could climb up the backside of the garbage heap and kind of ascend the like 25-degree slant that is the skirmisher.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's really easy to get on.
Okay, cool. Okay. So I will, as Taleth kind of stands and begins to approach, I am actually going to use my feet to cast a disguise self on myself without using a spell slot. And so as he kind of begins to stand and take a few steps forward, the shadows themselves will begin to kind of stick to Taleth for a minute before eventually he steps through those shadows, and his attire is slightly changed. Some of the coloration is a little changed up. His cloak is just like a kind of just a normal like brown cloak. Still some fairly nice or more refined garb, not quite as tattered. And his actual features physically, he is a little different, resembling more so one of his friends that he used to have back home. And Sirius will be kind of tucked away, hidden again within like the cloak and this that he has. And I think he'll just ascend the ladder, honestly.
Fantastic. Are you trying to do this stealthily or just heading on up?
Stealthily for now, I would say.
Roll a stealth check for me.
Yeah. Okay, lovely. That's great. That's a great start.
That sounds like it wasn't great.
6.
Okay. Rope ladders, guys, I'm not sure if you knew this. Rope ladders that aren't attached to anything at the bottom are legitimately difficult to climb, guys. It's tough,
Any gentle breeze and you're like a flag.
So you do. I'm not going to say you. Obviously, you ascend to the ladder. Stealthily is, to each their own.
Yeah, right. Maybe he's a sailor. Maybe he's hard of hearing.
Yeah. That's a very common thing for sailors. I don't know why it would be. You ascend the ladder, get to the top of the boat, not quite as smoothly as you were hoping that it would. Sure enough,
the pile of garbage.
He is currently looking at where you come up with his hand on his blade. It isn't drawn, but he seems very poised and relaxed, as though he probably knows his way around a sword pretty well.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So as Taleth like ascends the ladder, and like at first, like as he just crests his head over and he just sees Timothy just kind of staring at him as he climbs up. It's like, this is not how I imagined this going, but okay. He finishes climbing up the ladder and says, well, hello, friend. How are you doing?
You call me friend. Do you know me?
Oh, no, I'm terribly sorry. I wouldn't actually know you myself. I'm a traveler of sorts, though. Here, name's Jacob Laster. And he'll kind of reach his hand out.
Can you make a deception check? This isn't necessarily.
I'd love nothing more.
He's going to try to read you.
Oh, okay.
To see whether or not you mean him any harm.
Okay, sure. Yeah. That would be a 21 DM.
Oh, yeah. He kind of looks at you and says, oh, a tourist.
Oh, I wouldn't quite go that far, actually. He actually pulls out a card. I'm with the Safrax Trading Company, actually. I'm one of our business relations officers.
Oh, even better, a solicitor. He ignores the card, but he will kind of just grab your hand holding it, and he will shake your hand.
Okay, great.
He says, what harebrained scheme do you plan on trying to get through in the trash heap?
Well, actually, I'm terribly sorry. I overheard a bit of your conversation over at the inn. I was taking a smoke break just outside the window, and I was my curiosity was quite piqued actually when you mentioned your captain, and I was just wondering if it would be all right if I asked you a couple questions, maybe pick your brain a little bit.
You see his gaze darkens.
Mm-hmm.
Not roll. Can you just roll an insight? What's your passive insight? I just want to know how much I should be telling you.
My passive insight is a 15, DM.
Oh, 15, that's pretty solid. This isn't a sadness. He seems much more suspicious of you.
Sure. Yeah.
As though people asking him who his captain is has not ended well in the past for him.
Sure. Yeah.
And he says, why this interest that you have? Why?
Well, as I was saying before, my trade is with my business is building relationships with customers, really, trying to develop strong bonds with people within the sectors, and well, I was quite fascinated by just how much you seem to care about your captain, especially. Forgive me if I'm jumping to conclusions. I only heard bits and pieces of the conversation from outside, but it seems that not everyone holds this captain of yours in such high regard, and for you to hold so strongly to that, I mean, clearly you must have your reasons for that, and I don't mean to pry at all, but it seems to me that only a good man, only a good captain would be held in such high regard even after the rest of the world has discarded him, that his crew would hold on to him. That means something.
He wasn't just a good man. Screw it. Frankly, if you are with them and you beat me again, wouldn't be anything I haven't dealt with before. Captain Leslie was more than just a captain. He was a figure. He was kind, and he was brave, and he was smart. And he was the best at what he did. And he wasn't... He was one of us. He wasn't some high and mighty noble who was good because they had been trained forever or anything like that. He was just a person. And he was the type of person that you would fight for. And we did fight for. They don't like him because they're kids. They're young. They were stupid kids when Captain Leslie was here. And so the stories that they were told then seem like childish fantasies and dreams to the children that they are now, who think that they're adults and they know anything other than what they've been told.
And this captain of yours, you believe he's alive, despite so many claiming that he's probably dead. What do you hope for your sector if he returns?
I don't know.
I see.
I believe that he is alive because he has to be. The captain that I know. Do you even know where you're standing?
I forgive me. I'm not very familiar with the outer sectors.
This is where it happened. And he points over and he starts pointing at scuffs in the floorboards and gouges. And he starts to list what happened for each one of them. And he says, right there, those holes in the ground, those are from our ship's doctor. As she fought off hordes of attackers who struck us in the dead of night while we were asleep and drunk after victory, and they were hunting down the injured. Points over towards the main mass, and he's like, that's where Tim Rutger, a baker, fought. He swung from those ropes and cut them down like he was threshing wheat. And then he points over towards the side of the ship, where you see that there are these massive holes that have been gouged into the side railing. And he says, right over there is where the last of the anchors that the Moonraker had attached to us was hooked. And that is where my captain stood his ground against Captain Silvers and challenged him to an honorable one-on-one combat. And right there is where he was stabbed in the back and kicked over the side of this ship. I know that he is alive, because if he isn't, why am I?
I understand.
He points over to a small little area of the boat where you know that they would have put netting and extra rigging. And he's like, when all of this was happening, when I saw Anne held down by mages and warlocks with their magic, I was in there, hiding like a coward, because my captain told me to hide. I should have done something. And I don't know who you are or what you're trying to get out of this. Frankly, I don't care. But if you dare disrespect or even let someone else disrespect the name of man brave enough to do all that and then tell me to hide, I'll cut you down where you stand. Exactly how he taught me to. So what does that tell you about your consumers? What are you trying to gain from this? Are you just going to turn me in again?
Oh, no. I actually, I'd say I've had my fair share of run-ins with the Mojons and the like. No, actually, I was hoping that I could maybe help you. You see, it's kind of like we're a trading company, right? So like the only way for our customers to want to trade with us is if they know that we care for and respect them and their needs and wishes, because that's the only way that they're going to respect and care for about our wishes of people trading with us, right? So actually, you see, I am in the business of finding people. That's again, I find customers and talk to them and try and do stuff. So actually, the whole point of this conversation really was actually I was hoping that maybe if you were willing to share a few things about your captain, then perhaps I could find your captain for you, and then maybe even share a thoughtful word from yourself even. Perhaps if he is out there and struggling, then a kind word from an old friend might be just what he needs in his darkest moment. But only if you're interested. If you aren't, I will leave you be and I won't ever speak of it to another servant. I promise.
I can't pay you.
That's all right. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in gaining any bits from anybody right now. I will say though, there's one thing that you could do for me as payments, but it might be a little weird. But I promise it won't do you any harm.
Here it comes. Lay it on me.
All right. I just need you to just stand there, close your eyes, and think about your captain.
This is really uncomfortable.
I know, it's strange. Please humor me, please.
What did you said you were a merchant? What are you selling?
I'm also a magician, so just for the record.
This is making it worse.
Please, just humor me. Just think of your
Can
captain.
You make a persuasion check?
Sure. Yeah. I would love nothing more, DM. Persuasion would be a 21, DM.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
He'll kind of look at you and just be like, even if he is a magician, I'm pretty sure that could beat him in a fight. He's within sword distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he will stand there and he'll just kind of close his eyes.
Okay.
Still a little tensed.
So as he does that, Taleth just kind of holding up his hands just to make sure to be like, hey, I'm not a threat. And as Timothy closes his eyes, through just for a moment, through the illusion of his disguised self, his one green eye will just kind of flash for a moment as unless he chooses to fail, I suppose. I need him to make a wisdom saving throw.
Well, he is not proficient in wisdom saving throws. Okay. That's going to be a 12.
Okay. That will fail. So meaning that he's currently under the effect of my hypnotic gaze.
Mm-hmm.
So he's considered charmed, and currently is incapacitated.
Yeah.
As Timothy is just kind of listening to the sound of my voice and thinking of his captain just in his head, thinking about all the memories that he's had with his captain over through the years, the training as a young boy, Taleth will just very gently place his hand at the back of his neck and will draw upon a memory bead.
Okay.
And I get to roll a d6.
I love it. I should probably have these written down somewhere so I know exactly what's happening. But I remember talking with Drew about this, and I'm like, yeah, I probably remember what he's doing.
Okay.
Professional DM, everybody.
Okay. So DM, I rolled a 4 on my d6, which we have written down, meaning I gain a standard memory.
Fantastic. You remember, weirdly enough, this is kind of a joint memory. You see two main figures.
Okay.
This is of course from the perspective of Timothy. There is kind of an older fellow wearing kind of a cook's apron, sitting on a barrel, actually exactly where you're standing on the ship, is where this memory is taking place. And the cook is advising him how to attack, how to swing a blade. He's still very, very early into it. And he keeps saying, "Your hips, boy, use your hips." And then up walks a somewhat familiar face to you, which is a much younger and slightly more clean shaven Leslie. He is in full captain's garb. He has a nice little hat. And he walks up, and he just basically advises Timothy on a little bit of proper form, a little bit of concept, and more so kind of the idea of why you're swinging a blade is more important than how you're doing it. And then he walks off into the distance after a little bit of chatting with the older man appears to be named Jerry. And
Nice.
then
We love Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry's a good guy. And then Captain Leslie walks off into the distance to join what you assume to be other members of the crew.
Sure.
And that is the end of the memory that you gain.
Okay. So as Taleth kind of gains that insight, he just he will kind of bring out his hands and almost drawing the fragment, a copy of the memory into his hand as it coalesces and forms into like this little turquoise-ish marble that he puts in a pouch. And then he takes a couple steps back, and the hypnotic gaze subsides.
He will kind of lurch forward just a half step, and he will say,
"Oh,
can I
okay
open my eyes now? Are we good?"
Yep, we're good.
Okay, I don't know what just happened.
You
I don't
feel
even
okay?
think that I really want to know. I mean,
No, you're all right. Cool.
Maybe a little indigestion, but that could just be the anger. But that's kind of always there.
Maybe.
So
Now, last thing before I depart from you and leave you alone, are you able to write?
Yeah, I know enough.
Okay. And he'll quickly kind of pull out one of his many notebooks and quickly pull out a couple pages, and will hand the pages to Timothy and say, "Write something to your captain. However short, however long, whatever you want to do. Write something to your captain. And I will be sure that if I ever come across him, I will deliver it. You have my word."
Sure. He'll take him and he'll kind of sit there. You can tell that he knows how to write, but from what you can see, his handwriting is technically legible. He's not incredibly proficient. He probably studied a lot more of sword fighting and getting into trouble than actually like writing a whole bunch.
Sure.
You think in the memory he was probably like 16 while he was aboard the ship. So
Okay. Yeah.
He'll get to writing, and after maybe a couple of minutes, he'll kind of fold that up and say, so this, you aren't going to read this, right, though?
No, of course not. Of course not.
Okay. Are you telling the truth?
I am actually.
Okay. I won't have your roll if you're telling the truth. I just really want to make sure, if you're gonna backstab me like this. But yeah, and he'll hand it to you, and he says, "Well, I mean, is there anything else that you need to know? Anything that you want to try to sell me before you hopefully leave my boat?"
As Taleth, he'll quickly put the letter into an envelope and actually will like put a wax seal on it real quick, and throw it into his satchel. I'll say, "Well, I suppose my only other thing would be if you're ever looking to transport some goods or buy some new supplies, knickknacks, the assorted. Look out for my card."
Are you planning on heading to Pirin? Are you planning to actually heading towards like actual Ouroboros?
Oh, well, I mean, I would like to, yes. I mean, I figure since it's not too far away from where we are now, from my understanding, and I've never been quite yet. And again, I'm trying to make as many stops as I can, trying to get the word out.
Well, I mean, I don't know the whole deal with the train and all. I heard that it broke down on the way in, but normally the end stop for the train in Ouroboros is on Pier, and if you end up there, I would check out a shop called Hardened Scales. If you tell them young Timothy sent you, and they might have a couple of options for you.
You are very,
But-
very kind, my good sir.
I just work in the trash heaps, so I don't really have a lot of goods that I can sell or give at this moment.
He will give a very dramatic kind of flourish of the tails of his suit as he gives a deep bow, and say, "Well, until next time." And he will promptly turn around and
Yeah. Whoa! The ladder starts
Going
swinging.
around in circles.
Yep.
Did Taleth just do the equivalent of pickpocketing Timothy's brain? Like,
no.
he just rolled up and took a
no,
memory.
no. He didn't take a memory. He copied a memory.
He took the key and then he put it in the clay to make a copy of it, and then put the key back.
Yeah, it would be pretty messed up if you did like steal their memory and they
Like,
didn't remember it anymore. You're like, it's mine now.
As you head down the rope ladder, you see Timothy turn and pull out his sword, and he begins the same movements that you saw in the memory that you now have. You descend. Do you just head back to the inn?
I will just more or less head back to the inn. I won't take the most direct route because I'm actually kind of interested in this trash. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So as I head back, like I'll try and quickly get out of sight. Just that way, my disguised self doesn't drop while I'm inside of Timothy. But then after a little while, I'm just going to go through the process to ritually cast detect magic.
Ooh.
And then for like the next 10 minutes or so, as I'm making my way back through the trash, he's just going to be trying to find whatever kind of interesting artifacts, like little, even like small magic things, possibly larger magic things, whatever he kind of notices that might be a possible value to him. That is easy to transport.
Can you roll a D100 for me?
I would love nothing more, DM. Let's go with our magic dice. That would be a 14, DM.
A 14. Well, you find a small jar of putty.
Let's go. Is it Flarp?
No,
That'd
it
be
is not. It
huge.
is not the farting putty. Although it probably could be used for that.
Is it magic?
You do sense some form of magical aura to it, but it seems very minorly enchanted.
Okay, cool.
Minorly enchanted putty.
Fantastic. Just so you know, if then this goes for all of you. There isn't a lot of locations on the edge. It's a very small. It's basically a stopping point. It's like a gas station, pretty much. It's basically just one big Buc-ee's. You have the inn. There's the trawler's yard, which is the main place of work here. There is sector banking. So if any of you particularly want to do any banking, you could go to the bank.
Nice.
And then there's also a small kind of trinket shop called Knife's Edge Trinkets. And then, so do you head back to the inn at this point in time?
Yeah, I'll head back to the inn to see as I get closer, since I have a limited range of only 100 feet to check in with Melody. As soon as he gets back into that 100-foot range, she will check in and see how far the conversation has progressed with the others.
Yeah. We'll say that this took pretty much the amount of time for the conversation that was there to pretty much wrap up. As a little bit of a reminder as to what exactly was happening, Leslie was a little bit under fire,
Yeah.
Some things were said,
was.
but it was positive fire.
It was positive
Like,
fire.
you
It was
stand up for
it was
yourself,
encouraging fire.
you know?
And
Yeah.
I was just clarifying some things about
Absolutely.
my situation.
Just over
And then
several
I'm
drinks.
Yeah.
over several drinks, and
With
I'm pretty
one person
sure.
drinking a lot of them.
And DM,
I'm-
what hour would it be at this point?
Oh, we're approaching the late hour of, like, I don't know, 10:45.
In the morning?
No. It's in the evening still. You
Okay,
would still
okay.
be able to have a full night before your train leaves the next day.
Okay, perfect.
I'm pretty
So-
sure the last thing we said was, "Hey, where's Taleth?"
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was like literally
He's
the
been
last
gone
thing.
this entire time.
Absolutely.
And
Tell
as-
hear them say that.
Oh
yeah.
my god!
And
you're
he
sure to
enters, and
not
he's-
do that again.
And he's like flipping through like one of his notebooks, and he's like, "Well, but okay, but if I take the engine and
get up and I
transport it
walk
over
over
there,
and,
and then if I
hey,
connect it
hey,
with these
hey,
runes
hey,
over here, well,
You're
yes,
babysitting
yes.
next time. Okay?
What?
You don't leave again. Got it?
What? he looks to Melody. What?
Yeah? I swear to God.
I must say,
She
his
looks up at
timing
you.
is impeccable.
She shrugs as a bird.
Okay. He'll just
Your
slowly
baby's
close his book and put it in his satchel. Okay. Well, it's getting pretty late at this point. Do we all plan to get some rest before the train? I suppose. Do we all plan to get on the train at this point? What did you do? I mean, did you guys have?
We've
What did you guys talk about?
beds on the train. Would be
Well, I could use some shut eye. I think I need to think some things over. If the train is fixed, if we could. What was that, Medora?
Sorry. I need help getting back to the train.
I
Oh.
got you. Come here.
Had a little bit
Thank
too much
you.
to drink, eh?
Thank you. A pretty tall lady, can you grab into my satchel that's on my side, and I'm like pointing to like a satchel to like my right hip.
Mm.
There's a purple mushroom. If you can grab that and give it to me, just put it in my right hand because it's the only one I can see right now.
Okay.
The left
right.
hand is under the table.
Yeah. I'm just like,
There you go.
and I grab it and I flip it around to where I'm holding the top of the mushroom, like the stem is out, and I'm like, all right, I'm good. All right.
What? I need some of that.
I don't know. The last
That
time I
was
gave you some
magic.
stuff, it's not gonna work.
Look, Taleth,
Alright.
what he does is, that's magic too, but that was magic. I don't know. I've never found anything that works for me.
Practical.
It's gonna work for about 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes.
All right, let's get you to the train then.
Whoa,
Yeah, man.
whoa. And this train is going to Ouroboros, right? Is it fixed already? Now?
I think it's not fixed yet. I mean, if we wanted to, we could sleep on the train, or we could sleep in the inn. But the train isn't supposed to leave until tomorrow.
So we have some time for me to mentally prepare.
Yeah.
For this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good news. Then let's go to the train. In fact, I'd rather be there than here where people can recognize me, because that was a nightmare.
All right.
Fantastic. All of you head to the train. Is there anything that you would like to do before just going to sleep and waking up the next morning? Or, ooh, Medora's got hands.
Hold on, I gotta find the page. Hold on.
She finds a page.
So let's see. I want to cast
Oh boy.
Lingering Spirits.
Yes.
What's confusing is as an action you can cast it. But yes, I'll still do Lingering Spirits. And while we're walking past the trash heaps, I want to see if like
Oh, do you want to find?
I'm trying to figure out like if there's any like spirits that are
So
well,
speak with
like,
dead
but, like,
will
it's-
require a body of some sort.
that's like I want to see if there's any like leftover bodies that might have something of soul
Yeah,
left behind.
Make an investigation check
Okay.
to see if you can find some something that you can speak with.
DM, do I see this happening?
Yeah, you'll see Medora wander like towards the edge of the scrapyard.
Can I assist
22.
in the search for a dead body? Well, she doesn't need it. Never mind.
You said 22,
Just follow
Medora?
behind. Well, I'm like this. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can find anything here in the scrapyard. So you don't find, like, there's not like a whole dead person there, although there are almost definitely dead people within the scrapyard. What you find, ooh, I can use this table again. What do you find? Can you roll a D100 for me? I lost my page. I've cursed my 1,000 tabs.
36.
36.
That's potentially
right.
good.
36. You find a charm bracelet that looks like it would be sized for a child's wrist.
Oh.
And you do sense that there is a lingering soul here.
Excellent. I put that in my pouch.
Fantastic.
Just for safekeeping for later.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll come back to you.
For the briefest
you
moment, as Taleth is like standing like near enough to see this happen, he thinks to himself that, like, man, this is really weird. And he's like, actually, no, it's not. I do weirder things.
Yeah. This is really weird. And then you look at yourself and the fact that you haven't breathed and you're like, well, maybe it's not that bad.
TikTok, Medora. You said this the last 10 minutes.
I'm coming. Dang.
Fantastic.
Right before we board the train. Right before we board the train.
She's gonna get drunk again.
Leslie just turns
Oh,
around
God.
and goes like, I just realized we're in a location where things from all over the world show up. And I look different, but not that different. I figure if there's like a thrift store or something, it would be good if I disguise myself as if I was from somewhere farther away. So we might want to go to like a small shop or something.
I mean,
Like one of the names that the DM threw out. He threw out like
like
5 or 6 really cool
if
sounding
it's, like,
places.
really-
I'd love to see one of them.
If it's like really important to you, I have a disguise kit. Like, I can just disguise you.
Yeah, but
Can I just look around on like the trash heaps and see if there's anything?
Yeah, can you roll a D100 for me?
I hope you find
Do you
like
guys
a
not
like a
wanna go?
salad
You guys not wanna
of
go?
seaweed that you just plop on his
guys-
head.
Just
do you guys not want to
Oh my
go
gosh.
see these neat places
No.
that
I mean,
Media
I would
cooked for us?
I would love to.
90.
I was about to say, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to
95.
go to the trinket shop. You know,
I would
might be some.
shop too.
Yeah, let's do that. We're gonna take it together.
You find this is let me double check my notes here because man, there's so many places, dog. It's hard for me to remember all those names. You find a dented sheriff's badge from the sector Reston.
Here you go.
Oh wow, that's actually kind of perfect. It is from a region that's far away, and it's a disguise.
Exactly. You sound like
You
you're from there
know-
too. So I think you'll be fine.
But there's a lot of other cool things from
You
all
look-
over the world.
And you just see it blinking like one of those neon blinking Vegas strip signs that's like just pointing at this one location.
DM, at this point, can Melody land on Bear's shoulder with just something that she just picked up off, like from the trash heap? Like, it doesn't, I don't even care if it's anything like on the table. Like, it could just be like a half of a pencil.
Yeah, I'll choose for you.
If it's something good, I'm gonna cry.
She descends and lands on your shoulder carrying a glowing blue-green line 6 inches long but with no discernible radius. It's a 2-dimensional object.
What? That hurts my brain. What'd you find, Melody?
Oh, the
Can I
mushrooms
touch
wearing
it?
off. I can't focus anymore. This line is freaking me out.
I attempt to pick it up.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to use this practically. I like gifts that are practical, but this is a very good
very
find.
happily, as if she has given you the most important thing on the planet.
I tuck it into my jacket for later.
It is
Safekeeping. Thank you
does
very
give
much.
a very slight. It's very glow stick in terms of light radius.
Okay, that's very nice.
But it would not like light a passageway or anything. Yeah, it doesn't have a third dimension though.
All right, you guys got me. When I'm stressed, I like to go shopping. Usually it's a farmer's market or it's something where somebody worked with their hands. But in this case, we got trinkets from all over the universe. And look, sure, well, I may be recognized. Yes, but we're about to go to Ouroboros, and this might be the one chance I have to let off some steam. So can we just go do a little shopping or something? I want to see these
I
places.
need you to put your hands in your pockets and look to see if you got shopping money. Do you have shopping bits? Do you have enough to go shopping?
DM, do I
Do
have
we
shopping
have any
bits?
money?
Chat, do they have enough bits?
Chat, now's your chance.
Yeah, this is
How
the
many
time.
bits do they have?
Just no shame shilling. You do have
Come on, guys, I
currency
really wanna
from
buy
Nico
this.
Muris.
I really want to buy this antique, guys. Come on.
You do have your currency from Nico Muris, and there is a bank here, so you could pretty easily transfer it into bits if necessary.
Gotcha.
Guys, did it work? Did anyone so many bits? But yeah,
No,
you would be able to have some funds. Yeah.
My brother gave 100 bits. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
You have at
Thank
least
you.
100 bits.
Shout out
As a
Marshall.
collective, we have 100 bits.
Yes.
So what were the names of the places we can go see again?
There is only one that really lines up with anything that would be close to what you're asking for, which is the Knife's Edge.
Okay.
It's Knife's Edge trinkets. It's a really
Would you
tiny
all
letters.
like to join me to go see Knife's Edge trinkets?
I mean, selfishly,
Alright,
yes, I
how you
would, but not
feeling?
because you asked. Because I already wanted to go there.
Tall, scary lady, are you coming?
Fine.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
We're in, baby. We're gonna go get some cool stuff from all over the world.
Happily, Melody will fly around Bear and then land on Addy's shoulder.
Oh.
The four of you make your way a little stumbling. Medora, you're still like in presence of mind, but your legs aren't quite with you.
Oh.
But yeah, you walk up to this kind of quaint yet extravagant. It's very gaudy. Like there's so many knickknacks hanging off the wall of this. You can see a line of what would be whatever this universe's version of Beanie Babies is, like just in the window. It's like one of those stores that you find on the side of a highway that's just like clearly someone just turned hoarding into a hobby.
Into a profession.
Yes, and hey, they're making a living with it. But yeah, this store appears to just have a trade-in like trinkets for cash, so you can buy trinkets or sell trinkets here, which is one of the main ways that people, when they are trawling the scrapyard, are able to make their money. So if they find something of interest here in the scrap, then they can trade it in for into the shop for cash. You enter in and a little bell rings, and what you can only assume to be the proprietor of this place floats at slightly above head height around one of the stacks of trinkets, and it is a kind of a yellowish with blue highlights flumph.
It's a flop.
And it has a little hanging badge that just says Daryl.
Behold, everyone. I believe they call these pawn shops. And this one is special because you can literally find diamonds in the rough, I think. And then I start ushering them inside as if I know what's going on. I've never been here.
Yeah,
But I
all
like
of you-
digging through piles and looking for things.
When the flumph sees you, you all feel a kind of a warm, comforting emotion just wash over you. Kind of like you just ate like a comfort food from back home. and the which is basically just the flump signifying that it knows that you are here and it is happy to see you.
Wow.
As they enter,
I don't like this
Taleth
human.
just quietly says to himself, "Reminds me of my investors' shop back home."
Write that down.
Write the note.
What are you guys trying to find?
Oh boy, DM. I mean, do you really want to ask me?
He's got an itemized list.
I mean,
Alrighty.
bro,
We
look.
can forward it to
Mhm.
your secretary.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, the likeliness that you actually find anything useful, questionable. Grant, are you actually looking for a disguise?
The sheriff's badge is pretty great. But I think, Leslie
I'm-
will look for other things that will like make him less likely to be from Orebora. But also I do think it's true that a part of his coping is shopping. So I think he's also looking for a good find, whatever that might be. And he likes
Okay.
handmade things.
If anyone is looking for anything specific, it will be an investigation or perception check. If you are just looking to see what random neat thing you find, it'll be a D100.
Ooh boy.
I would
Okay.
like to just look for any sort of newspaper /
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
information from any other sectors.
Fantastic. Drew, hit me with your rolls.
I would like to see if I can't find any spell scrolls and or mana crystals.
Okay. So an investigation check for you, Gracie and Grant. Medora, are you looking for anything specific?
I want to see if I can find. I need to make sure I did this correctly. I want to find a trinket or some kind of vessel that has a really strong spiritual presence attached to it.
Sure. Make an investigation check.
Okay.
I'll start in reverse order this time. Grant.
All right, I got a 19 DM. And may I request that I ask the flump for help because I really want to hear the
Absolutely.
flump talk.
If you are if you do ask the flump for help, you
Here's
can
what I
roll your
do.
check with advantage as well.
Hello, are you the owner of this establishment?
Calming reaffirmation.
Wow, I feel so much more confident than I have in a while, especially here. I don't know what my question was. I'm looking for some kind of outfit or something to disguise myself. Do you have a clothes section amidst these piles?
One of
Like
its
a
kind
clothes
of
pile?
floating, almost jellyfish-like tentacles will just kind of land on your forehead,
Oh,
and you will see it kind of
thank
like
you.
it doesn't have like a mouth, but you can tell that it like closes its eyes that are just on these two spindly eye stalks. You can see that it kind of smiles and nods, and then it will just float, like it'll just drift sideways towards a section. And you can see off in a little corner behind a curtain is a bunch of clothing racks and various other things.
Thank you. Oh, I feel so relaxed.
Yeah. And you said a 19. You can roll with advantage real quick since the
Yes.
flump is assisting you.
18. So
Okay,
19 is
still better.
the best. Yeah.
In terms of disguise, you tell me what you would like to look like. That is good enough for you to find it, as long as it is like kind of strange.
Ooh, that's good. Could you come back to me?
Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't expecting you to have it right off the bat anyways. Gracie, I can see that you have been waiting to tell me. You've been so excited. 14. Are you asking the flump for any assistance as well? Or are you
No.
just going in one?
Melody
I'm
will
just gonna be-
provide assistance if
Melody can
Yeah, sure. I'll allow it.
assist with her eyes.
she's
That's
just
an
like
one. 14.
14.
she's just pointing
Turns
at
out-
like all sorts of different like interesting like shiny
Melody didn't help.
things.
Melody
Melody.
doesn't know how to read,
Melody.
everybody.
Melody, stop. Hey. Sorry.
On the bright side, you think back. This is a pretty easy check. You are able to remember underneath kind of like a collapsed bunch of vases outside the building, there is one of those like bins that just has newspapers for like 25 cents. And you are able to go out there and it's just open. Like you don't even, it's just like the lock is busted. So you just kind of jimmy it and are able to take a newspaper out of there. That is the Sector Times. There are a few services that are always available in the sectors because, you know, people have to get their news and stuff like that. So the Sector Times is one of them, which is basically a group of people who are like, hey, how are we going to get information out to everyone out there? So they basically bought a bunch of pocket dimensions that were all conveniently next to each other and then just broke down the walls to make one big news building that exists in a demi-plane off to the side. And they have little spots that they pop up and deliver the mail every day. There is also a hospital. So if anyone is ever in extreme danger, you can go to basically the Sector Medical Hospital. Your experience will be interesting. Yeah, you find the Sector Times. I will tell you what's in it momentarily. I may even send it to you in a message whenever whenever that's
Secrets.
I'll do some evening reading.
I love this so much.
Medora.
Also,
what did you get on your check?
I got a 13.
A 13. Roll a D100 for me.
Great. Okay. Wait, wrong dice. There's dice. 51.
51. You find the broken head of a pickaxe that was used on the sector of Norn. You see dwarvish runes carved into the side that are scratched, but you think that they were probably names, and they have a very angry energy to them.
Oh, I like this piece I picked up. Yeah.
Fantastic. Last but certainly not least, my good friend Drew.
I rolled a 23 DM.
And you were looking for spell stuff?
Yeah, spell scrolls and or mana crystals. Preferably spell scrolls.
Well, let me tell you, useful things pretty low here in the Knife's Edge.
Fair enough.
You do find what looks to be kind of a partially used up, maybe a little broken mana crystal that looks like a broken crystal with a little sphere of obsidian in the exact center of it that does appear to have some magical charge to it. As everyone has found everything that they were looking for to an extent, I do want to check in with Grant. Grant, did you figure out what you look like now?
Well, you know, I took chat's suggestions and I combined a few of them.
I like it.
Because I figured since this is a thrift store, they did great because it's probably just a mix match of things, a bunch of mismatched things. So I think these are the things I'd like to roll with. Chuck Taylor All-Stars. So we're talking Converse. That's what those are. Like old ratty ones. I think definitely a top hat would be great.
Yes.
And then if like the rest of it could be basically like a costume that would be for Halloween. That's essentially Master Chief armor. Is this possible?
And a sheriff's badge on the front.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I can tell you right now, there is a name written into the hem of the kind of like Halloween costume. You can't get the full thing, but the first letter is a V.
Okay, there's a V, and can I make one other request? The Master Chief armor is like the cloth foam padding.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I know the armor.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So yeah, like high tops, Chuck Taylor All Stars. You know, what color are they, DM?
Oh, they're bright, like cherry red.
Great. Okay. And then I got the foam Master Chief armor with the sheriff's badge and a top hat. Fantastic.
Yes. You look great. I don't know what you look
guys.
like, but you look great.
Guys, I don't want to be spotted by people. Proceeds to put on the most ridiculous outfit ever.
Let's be clear. He said, I don't want to be recognized.
Exactly.
No
I
one's
step
going
out-
to look at that.
I step out from the
Words
curtain and say, I feel fabulous.
I lean over to Addy. I'm assuming she's back in the shop, and I go, he looks so poor, he can't afford to pay attention.
I've never looked this good.
What? Are you gonna tell him?
I don't think we should.
I don't think we should either.
Nah, it's going
He
to
looks
tear
really
him
happy.
from the floor up. We can't do that to him.
The best
Let him
part
live his
is,
life.
you know, fashion trends. I walk up and I'm like, fashion trends around the universe, you know, are very diverse. You never know what a certain system's, you know, thing that's in is going to be. So that's why you got to go a little bit off the beaten path. So in this case, I'm a sheriff and I dress like it.
Oh, it's there's a lot of smells. Don't worry. The flump takes very good care. If clothing is found, it is washed and it is maintained. But there's always going to be a thrift store smell, you know? Like it's just like clearly like it's the smell of dust and like probably people have like threaded through this. So like it doesn't smell bad. But you know for a fact that this came from a thrift store.
Are there any
That
stains?
is also filled
Are there
with-
any stains?
Oh man, what a question. Visible?
Ugh, what does that mean? What are you even implying?
The flump emits a sense of body positivity. And that's the main important thing, you know, is the flump communicates in vibes. And everyone here is like, you know, I love who I am.
I feel like I look good. And you all look good.
Agrees and nods its head, and it puts one tentacle up and then tries to like put the other tentacle so it kind of looks like a thumb because it doesn't have
Aw.
thumbs.
What did you say this flump's name was? What's
The name
badge?
tag says Daryl.
Daryl,
Yes.
you might be
This
my
is-
best friend I've ever had. You make me feel so good about myself.
Daryl emits a sense of sadness and the reassurance that you will find friends.
Dude, does everybody else feel this or just me?
Oh, everyone does.
good.
Everyone knows exactly what Daryl is trying to get across here.
Oh, ooh.
I
Hey,
turned to
buddy, I
Taleth.
think you need to stop talking to Daryl.
Yeah, this is getting a little intense. I turned to Taleth and offer a hug.
Look. We're getting there, buddy, but we're not there. All right.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, take your time. One day.
Okay, this is actually
are you
kind of
guys-
freaking me out now.
Are
He
you guys
turns
going to
around and
pay-
leaves.
Are you guys going to pay for the things that you have, or are you going to try to rob Daryl?
I know I'm going to take out the little charm bracelet that I got before from the trash heap, being like, is this a good offer?
Daryl looks at it and kind of puts out one of its tentacles onto it and closes its eyes, and it nods. It will actually. It gives you a feeling of you have given more than what you have taken.
Oh,
And so
hold on.
it will kind of rummage around for a moment. It'll descend slightly closer to the ground. Its little tentacles will begin to weave through stacks of knickknacks and stuff until eventually it's kind of like little googly eyes are staring up towards the ceiling until eventually like a shiver runs through it, which is kind of gross. And then it retracts its tentacles and it will hand you a piece of paper.
The heck this paper gonna do? Can I read the paper? I don't.
The only thing written on the paper is a V with what looks like a kind of like a 3/4 circle around the bottom of it, kind of like in a bull's ring, like a nose ring type shape.
Thank you, Daryl.
It gives a calming reassurance and a thank you. and a weird thumbs up. If the rest of you are paying with normal cash, I assume
Yeah, as
the
Taleth
newspaper's probably free.
is beginning to make his way out of the door, Sirius just kind of appears, like slithering up the desk, leaves behind a pouch with a couple coins in it before slithering back down and leaving.
Fantastic.
How much do I owe him?
Oh, you know, it out of pity. It'll just pat you on the shoulder and it'll confirm that you look good enough that you don't need to pay.
How pitiful am I?
Go out there and get some
Very.
friends, buddy.
You're just
Really?
He
his
doesn't say
Master
that, but
Chief.
that's the vibe you get. Is like, you know, I hope that this visit allows you to make some good friends.
Master Chief and red chucks.
Mm-hmm.
Master Chuck.
Master Chuck.
Master Chuck. Master Chuck. I honestly, I'm speechless. Leslie's speechless. He doesn't know what to say to that because, I mean, he can't argue with it, even though he wants to. And so all he can say is, thank you very much. And he puts his head down and embarrassingly walks out of the shop.
Addy, as you turn to leave, you will feel a little tentacle on your shoulder. And it doesn't commune anything with you. But for some reason, you feel as though, at least here at the edge of the world, there's someone who does know exactly what you're feeling. And it'll give kind of a little tentacle wave as everyone leaves. So yeah, so that's Knife's Edge trinkets. Is there anything else you guys want to do before you go? I'll go to sleep.
My evening
Sadly,
reading.
before I leave the trinket shop, the mushroom wore off.
Yeah.
Now I'm like,
Alright.
Oh, no.
my leg's feeling like
Yeah.
water. Somebody grab me. Somebody grab me.
I got her.
get Medora.
I got her. Carry her back.
Yep. You're just dragging a limp body.
She's over the shoulder at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, fireman style.
Yeah.
I
Gracie.
feel bad 'cause I'm probably puking on her back though. 'Cause I'm just like,
Ugh.
it's purple.
You better.
It's purple
keep it in.
mushroom.
Occasionally, Taleth just puts a hand over and uses prestidigitation to clean it off.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so glad you didn't. Yeah.
But he doesn't make eye contact with Addy out of fear.
Gracie, can you roll a D20 reroll on a 19 or a 20?
I would love to. Wait, reroll on a 19 or 20.
Reroll on a 19 or a 20.
Oh boy.
That's... Oh.
It's impossible to get really good rolls.
This is 19!
Mm-hmm.
Four.
Well, this isn't a matter of it being a good or bad roll. I have a list of things here. It's kind of like 100, but I
was
only
like,
have 18.
no, I'm gonna be able to. Like, that's my crit. No, 4.
The main headline
Oh.
that of the newspaper, the front page kind of information is just titled "The Great Blasting." You would know what this is. On the sector of Norn, there's an event that occurs periodically. There's no set time as to when it occurs, but everyone knows exactly when it's happening. Basically, just a random number of dwarves on Norn go a little bit crazy, and all head to the surface of this dead planet and begin blasting out parts of the mountain into the shape of a dwarven head that they then launch into space until they inevitably crash or die. But the main point of the headline is that these blasts are shaking the entire planet, and new caverns and tunnels have opened up, and people are flocking to Norn, looking to strike it rich in the endless, maddening tunnels.
Need more.
So if you're
Nice.
looking to hit it big, you know, in a very 49ers gold rush type movement, Norn is the place to be right now.
Nope, we're good. Anything else?
But yeah, that's what you get from your newspaper. All of you head to bed on your comfy little fold-out seats. Drew, I see your hand is raised.
I don't know if you want me to roll for anything, DM, but before I do go to bed, Taleth will spend probably many hours, honestly, knowing him, just like feverishly reading through books and notes and all sorts of stuff, trying to perfect his theory.
Fantastic. Good. All of you, go to sleep. Congratulations, you wake up the next day. None of you died in your sleep. This is an
Oh,
achievement.
God.
This is when you wake up every
Do we
morning.
level up?
No, you already did that.
Oh,
Emotional growth has occurred. You level up. Daryl just grants free level ups. That's what Daryl
thank you,
does.
Daryl.
Here's some water, Medora. Drink up.
Oh God, thanks.
If there isn't anything else that you would like to do here on the edge, towards late morning to noon-ish is when the train would be leaving. So if there aren't any other stops, I also don't have nothing particularly would go wrong on this train trip. If there is anything that you guys would like to do, either on the edge or during the train ride, this would be your time. Grant.
Real quick, before we jump to the train ride, just want to say thank you, Raiders, to Top Down Tabletop. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
We're going to keep on trucking on the dream
train gets
trade. But I wanted
raided.
to welcome you all. The train,
Again?
15 individuals
raiders.
just crash onto the train through the
I
windows
was
and
wrong.
doors.
We are having combat this session. Go, go.
Go.
It's just
All right.
like my memories.
Whoa.
Yeah, DM,
All
are we
of you-
sharing still one train car?
Yes, you do still have your first class train car. There are dividers. This is first class. So if you want to have an individual sleeping area or just a little closed off area, it is very easy to assemble that for you.
I would just say, like, while we are riding on the train, Taleth is definitely still feverishly looking over books and notes and has like strange runes written on papers and like knickknacks and like all sorts of crazy stuff, somewhat contained to his, space within the card as to not, make the other people annoyed with him. But it's like a small madhouse.
Could you roll an Arcana check for me?
I would love nothing more, DM.
I know that this probably is not at all in your wheelhouse, being a wizard and all. So
Yeah,
I know a lot to ask.
Mm.
40.
Okay.
25.
Arcana 25, DM.
You discover that the putty that you have, if you know how you can put a putty on a newspaper and then pull it off, and it will keep the newspaper printing on the putty.
Mm-hmm.
This putty does that, but it's from a newspaper, not necessarily the newspaper that you're copying. So you could pull
Just a
off the
random
putty.
newspaper.
It could be from any newspaper.
Wait.
You have
so-
no determination as to what newspaper it's pulling from.
Whoa.
So the putty is placed on a newspaper.
Yeah, and then you press it
the
down.
ink that's lifted is any newspaper.
It's from any newspaper.
Okay.
Specifically
There
on a
is no
newspaper
name.
or just a piece of paper?
It has to be a newspaper.
Okay. So I like to imagine, like at one point Taleth is just kind of sitting there staring at like this one arcane equation, and he's just like 1,000-yard stare, just playing with the putty in his hand, just passively, and like at some point he accidentally drops it onto Addy's newspaper, who I assume is next to him at this point.
Yeah, you're on the ceiling.
This is my part of the table.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Addy. So sorry.
This
And he
This is yours.
and he picks
This
up
is
the
mine.
and he picks up the putty, and he looks at the words. He looks back at
It
the
reads-
newspaper.
Tragedy strikes, and then it cuts off because the putty's not very big, so it's really hard to get a whole lot of stuff in there.
What does it say?
It reads tragedy strikes, dies in a the
Do it again.
end.
Do it again. Do it again.
He like stretches it out this time a little bit and like presses it down on more of the newspaper, brings it back up.
Searching for 30s to 40-year-old willing to work in harsh conditions, pay minimal but for a great cause. Please contact, and then it cuts off.
Do it again.
It's half of a Peanuts comic.
Awesome. What is it? Describe it.
The punchline is cut off.
Oh. So close.
You see Charlie Brown about to kick a football. You're not sure how it ends.
Never
get
have I been more
crosswords.
fascinated by putty.
All right.
Fantastic. The train ride occurs. There are no incidents. You hear St. Clarita on the intercom say, "Well, hi there, everybody. don't be worried anymore. If you were at all concerned, don't worry. The dream train is up and running using some salvage parts from the salvage yard. But don't worry, it is all up to snuff. It is within the contract that we are allowed to do that. This is one of our determined drop-off points, if in case there are any accidents. We're headed on our way to our stop on Piran, the farthest moon of Ouroboros. So if you plan to get off at the next station, feel free to do so, or you can keep on riding, and we will end up on Dremure is our next stop. Thank you for riding the dream train, and have a nice day. The drain.
Go ahead, DM. I'm sorry.
I never know where to end these things. The dream train will continue on without a stop unless anything happens, and it will drop you off at Piran if that is where you would like to leave.
You all can tell that Leslie is fidgeting. He's looking around. He's clearly a little uncomfortable, which it shouldn't come to a surprise to any of you, but it is at this time more visible than it was before, if that's possible.
Hey.
Yeah,
Okay.
you think so?
I know so.
I can make you invisible if you'd like.
No.
Well,
He
let's.
needs- No.
I feel I might have overcompensated a bit with this outfit.
Maybe. Maybe a bit.
He just takes the top hat off very slowly.
It's definitely the top hat that was the problem. The top
Thank
hat
you.
was too much.
And I put on my hat, which is the most recognizable part of my entire outfit.
This like rustic
I put back on my
cowboy
hat. Yeah.
It's monogrammed.
Yeah. And I at least keep my gun on me. Okay, well, I'm going to stick to the back, and I'm going to try to do my best to not interact with a lot of the folks on these moons. You know, this is awfully close to my home moon, and this moon we're going to, if we get off here, isn't the one I'm from, which is relief to me. But to be honest, I don't know really what the state of this place is after all that happened that I was a part of. And I just need you guys to know that whatever I end up seeing might be a lot for me. So if I'm a little quiet, that's why.
We got your back. Don't
I appreciate that.
worry.
Okay.
If Sirius, well, I shouldn't say if Sirius. Sirius sticks his head out from the hood of Taleth's cloak, and he sticks out his tail and sticks it up as if he's giving a thumbs up.
Did you learn that one from Daryl?
Sirius blushes and hides.
Aww. That's cute. DM, I can't recall. There's a lot of moons.
Oh yes, there's 12 of them.
Yeah, there's 12 of them, and I'm from one of the moons, but I didn't write down in my notes which moon I'm from.
Oh man, that's a real shame.
So in this situation, I think we can just both agree to on a whim decide which moon that was.
Oh yeah, well let me tell
Unless
you,
you know.
I've got the moons.
Okay. Maybe Leslie doesn't know. I don't know.
Look, it's been a while. You know, what if their names changed?
Okay.
We'll fix it in post, Grant.
From my best knowledge at this moment in time, I don't think this moon is the one that I was
You are not from Piran. I know that you are not from Piran.
Okay, that's the one thing I really needed to know.
Forgive me, because I'm not very familiar at all with the moons of this particular sector.
Yes,
is there
ask me any detailed questions. I'm
is
sure
there
I can help
easy
you out here.
transport between the moons?
Well,
There used to be. I don't know if there still is. A lot of
that's all I needed to
You
know.
know. Are you sure?
Well, I mean,
That's
yeah,
all-
you just said that you don't know, so it's like I just
you
need to
could
know.
ask him anything
Back in the
about any of the
day,
moons. He would
you
know.
Except
Yeah.
for where
He knows
he's
it.
from.
Well, That's personal information.
I'm sure nowadays, since the war and whatnot, I'm sure now it's a little bit more high security. But before, people used to just kind of be able to go in and out, no problems, because we were peaceful at one point. Believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
You
Is
hear
that
the-
accurate?
Yeah. You hear the intercom crackle, and it will say, "Hello there, passengers on the Dream Train. This is St. Clarita, your conductor for this trip. We are just about to pull into the station. I hope y'all had a wonderful night's rest. If you slept here, I don't know why I'm still doing gosh dang the snake. Hey everybody. I hope that you all had a fantastic ride here on the train. If this is your stop, we hope to see you again on the Dream Train. Don't worry. What may or may not have happened on the trip prior is an isolated incident, and thankfully everyone signed a waiver. For those of you who lost friends and family members, you will not be reimbursed. Thank you for riding on the Dream Train. We hope that you choose to ride with us again. Life is but a dream, so let's get on it." And then the train slides to a stop, and the doors will creak open.
Why does it grind when there's not rails?
We
don't
can't
think about
question
it
the
too
Dream
hard.
Train. I don't
You're
know.
right.
You learned
actually,
your
I
lesson.
think it's
Why
probably
is that
because
what I
the
question?
tracks themselves are likely fragments of the weave itself, and so as
all
you're
get
traveling
start
between
walking
Don't
away
the
care.
realms.
Taleth is
Boy, we ain't
talking.
got time for that today. We ain't got time.
Taleth is talking and
wrap
we-
it up. Wrap it up.
Yeah, at this
Fantastic.
point,
Medora just
he's like
grabs
full on
Taleth and
taking notes. I'm
drags.
like, actually, that is a good question. How do you suppose that does work?
Boy, I swear.
You all step out onto the planet of, it's the moon of Piran. Piran is one of 12 moons that orbit the main planet in this sector, named Ouroboros. In order, I'm about to blast you with so many fantasy names you aren't even going to believe it. From the outer moons to the inner moons, there's Piran, Akivas, Karush, Sarim, Skara, Logar, Virum, Leh, Karsarai, Jamira, Toru, and Arya. Now,
DM,
yeah.
could you drop that in like a chat somewhere?
Oh yeah, don't worry. I'll hit you. Don't worry, I'll hit you.
Great, love that.
I got it. I got him. In order.
All of these 13 locations, the 13th, of course, being Ouroboros, are for the most part inhabited. Normally, I would say that Leslie would know exactly kind of what goes on in each of these, but a lot of has changed. In the past 20 years, there was a civil war. Ouroboros was the sector what was the last sector to not be ruled by a title holder. This is some very important lore for the campaign, everybody. Better remember it.
Oh boy.
Title holders are creatures bestowed with a name by the Modrons to kind of keep track of them. There are gods, demons, and devils. And when you are given one of those titles, you are basically entitled to own one of the sectors if you can prove that you are worthy of owning it to the people that live there, whether that be through force or wealth or just by inspiring them to all want you to be their leader. Ouroboros did not have one of these title holders in charge for a very, very long time until eventually the central government of Ouroboros decided that they wanted that to happen. The people did not like this, and so they started a rebellion. The rebellion failed. The people lost, and the governmental powers put in place the Devil of Trade, a mysterious figure that hasn't really been seen in public a whole bunch. A little bit of information about Ouroboros. As I mentioned, all of the moons are inhabited. The central planet of Ouroboros is entirely covered in water. The only places where people live there are massive mechanical floating cities that kind of skate across the violent waves because the moons wreak havoc on the oceans. Kind of like those water skimmers that you find on lakes that dance across the surface tension. That's kind of what their cities look like. And then once every few hundred years, sometimes a little more common, sometimes a little less, the Halloween occurs, which is where all of the moons form a halo around Ouroboros, pulling all of the oceans towards one side of the planet and causing dry land to appear on the opposite half. It doesn't happen incredibly common, but it has been happening more frequently recently. That is Ouroboros. You are currently on the 12th moon, Piran, the most distant from the main planet, and the one least touched by the war simply because of its distance. As you step out onto the kind of loading dock of the Dream Train here, you see the vibe that it gives is tourist destination. There are well-maintained cobble streets, wrought iron fences that protect and guard these elaborate houses that have been built up, almost mansions. Little cafes are spread about, and people mull about the street, walking through open markets, talking with each other. You hear someone yell, "Marie, the baguettes!" It's very traditional, very, very Paris. But like Paris, what people want Paris to be. Overall, it is a surprisingly peaceful locale. You can find pretty much anything that you're really looking for on Piran. If I may ask, is there anywhere that you would like to go? Anything that you would like to do?
I know I first want to look around, like I want to say like before we get off the train, looking around for any extra clothing scraps and wrapping my feet a little bit more to where it can look like a shoe.
Yeah. You carry extra scraps with you just in case you end up in a more civilized part of town.
Yeah. They're my special ones, special cloth.
Yeah.
Extra clean.
So you wrap up your feet a little bit better here to look a little bit more like you belong. Yeah.
Well, if nobody perks up immediately after we get off the train, Taleth, looking at his book, like he's like sketching and like drawing like arcane equations, still thinking about the whole like how does the dream train move, like what does it move on tracks, or like what's going on, and then he just like as soon as he steps off, he's just like, I hate it here. And he closes his book and puts it away. And he will begin to try to make his way through town with Melody kind of flying up in the air above him, kind of keeping an eye out for like the fastest route to navigate through all these people.
Oh, that boy walking off.
And he's gonna look for the hardened scales.
Fantastic. Are the rest you following, or?
I'm gonna try to follow.
All I want to do is find some sort of like town notice board.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Where news
Valid.
will be posted. That's what I'm looking for.
Grant?
I think Leslie will, kind of as Taleth makes his way without saying anything, which is like, oh, okay, Taleth is going somewhere. He's on a mission. And then Medora kind of starts following. Leslie will just lean over towards Addy and just go, you know, if you don't mind, I don't really recognize this place. I didn't come here much.
Yeah.
Would you mind if I stuck with you? If you'd like to go with them, that's fine with me.
I don't
but
want to shop.
you don't want to shop.
No.
All right. Well,
So
honestly,
you're welcome to come with me if you would like.
that's a relief. For some reason, I don't quite know why, but for some reason, I feel like I can trust you, at least here now.
I'm
And
glad.
thankfully, this doesn't seem as bad as I thought it might be. So, for the meantime, I'm gonna lay low, but maybe this will work out after all.
At this moment, Leslie, you notice that Sirius is kind of wrapped around your leg and just kind of slithers up and then like wraps around you like a scarf.
This is even funny because imagine him in the armor and the Master Chief armor.
Okay.
And now he has a snake boa.
Primal instincts kick in, right? On my home moon, which you guys will learn, snakes, bad news. You don't let them crawl up your leg.
gotta
And
write
I'm
that down.
sorry. I'm
Write
sorry.
that down.
I know, that
Oh, there's no lead.
this is the snake, but I gotta try to get the snake off me immediately.
Yeah. Oh man. Roll a strength survival check.
Strength survival? You mad?
I'll
man.
allow a dexterity survival.
Okay. I'll take the dexterity survival.
I'm just
Yeah, that'll
watching.
be a plus. Wait, what is survival's
That's
modifier?
a wisdom bonus.
That
If
will
you're
be a
proficient,
plus 4.
if you're
so
proficient
21.
in survival, fantastic. 21. You know how to get snakes off of your body. Where you're
Without
from,
hurting them.
snakes
Because I don't
all,
hurt them.
all over you. Absolutely. You're a peaceful man. It's kind of like water bending, but with a thing made entirely of muscle.
Yeah. It's like,
Please demonstrate. Absolutely.
like I basically I scoop the snake with my arm and manage to kind of do the down the back off the other arm.
Yeah.
Like off the hand.
where-
And the snake just
ooh.
does a slide. It's
Are
pretty
you
cool.
are you trying to direct it any particular direction, or are you just trying to get it away from you anywhere?
Oh no.
Is there maybe a small snake-sized house anywhere nearby, or
No.
a cozy little snake-sized pillow?
Leslie.
There's an open suitcase.
no.
That would be
No.
messed up.
Leslie.
I just shimmy the snake towards Addy, I guess. I don't know why.
Addy,
Um,
this snake hits you in the chest.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I did that. It looked like you were receptive.
He drops to the ground,
My arm. Sorry.
and he just looks up with these biggest snake puppy dog eyes
I know.
at Leslie before he just
Okay.
kind of sheepishly just kind of puts his head down and very
I'm sorry.
slowly wraps around Addy's boot and just kind of stays there like a serpent sock.
Look, I'm sorry, little feller, but you can't just crawl up people's legs like that. Snake. I understand you wouldn't hurt me, but there are other snakes out there that would.
Leslie confirmed as Southern Indiana Jones.
Snakes, why'd it have
What
to
is
be
all that?
snakes?
These snakes.
Snakes. I'm going to start off with Gracie because finding an information board is going to be pretty easy. Because the entire moon of Pirin has basically been converted into a whole tourist attraction. People live here because it's a show of status in a lot of ways, but really, it's just a planet filled with kiosks. So it's kind of like walking through a big mall, an open air mall, an outlet mall. The entire moon of Pirin is an outlet mall.
Awesome.
And so you're able to find one
Rough.
of those you are here maps. And then right next to it is a big information board. And then for those who are visually impaired, there is a town crier who is just constantly reading off things on the board.
Yay!
There's- Countess Varoduk has declared that she is having her 4th child. They are very excited. Invitations have been sent.
Should we write this down? Is this important lore to the campaign?
That's up to you. You can write it down. If you want to crash the baby
I
shower.
think we should send baby shower gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would only be the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yes, Grant.
I'm just curious, is the You Are Here map of the entire planet? Because that
Yes.
would get very difficult to navigate.
The whole it is very
It is an outlet mall, which is already confusing, but it's the size of a planet.
Yes, exactly. It is almost as confusing as it is to actually find yourself in a real outlet mall.
Maybe it's one of those things at zoos and stuff where you spin the stone in the water. But
Yes,
the
that is
entire
exactly
thing
what it is.
an outlet mall map, and there's one spot
That says
is
You Are
the
Here.
You Are Here.
Yeah, it's very it's very
I'm very
non-intuitive.
fascinated by the "You Are Here" map. Obviously,
And you would think like maybe it's like magical and high tech. No, it isn't. It's just a rock. It's just one big rock.
Well, I'll accompany Addy in trying to figure out like what the deal is here.
Addy, can I assume what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
you are looking through the postings. You do find a kind of a clipping of a newspaper that has been stapled very much as a like, hey, look at this cool thing that happened. Kind of like what a restaurant will do when they get put in the paper. You see a clipping of a newspaper that says that a Caven Matvey has returned to his home residence after successfully negotiating the distribution of orphans, basically finding them new homes after the Civil War, which is an ongoing pursuit of his, a very noble cause of finding homes for these orphan children. But he is currently in town at his mansion. The location for the mansion is not given. You would have to probably ask for directions to that. It would be weird to post your address in the newspaper.
Weird, yeah.
Do you got anything? I see here that there's a sale on like any legume adjacent fruits. I guess there's a lot of different classifications. It specifies here in small print. There's a lot of different classifications from other sectors. So it's just legume adjacent
Interesting.
is a coupon. That's all I got.
No.
Coupon, legume adjacent
Oh my
fruit,
god.
mini sectors.
Hey, my friend beat you to it.
What? Would you like to skip?
Yeah.
Next. Boo. Boring. Something not legume related.
He will look at you and he say, a monthly subscription to Skip the Town Crier can be provided.
We ran out
Would
of
you
skips.
like to subscribe to Town Crier?
Do you have a cheaper ad version?
The ad version is free.
Nice. That's pretty good. That's not bad.
Legume adjacent fruit.
Oh.
He goes back to his job.
Are there any other like things that would potentially be, I guess not like recognizable, any other names like
Ooh.
I don't know. I'm thinking like
Are you trying to like get in close?
a little bit.
Make an
Little bit.
investigation check.
I love
Well,
this
you guys
so
are like
much.
speaking a different language. Like you just said something
Yeah,
in
because
code.
we got secrets, baby. We got
They're talking.
secrets.
No,
Trying to get
actually,
in
Not
code.
good.
Grant, the
It's a
correct
5.
term is thieves
A
can't.
5. You're looking, but you aren't finding anything other than that news article notifying you that the Matt Faye is in town.
And I'll
Grant.
keep that in my pocket.
Leslie has a little secret.
Mm-hmm.
Says
Leslie
to everyone.
Only one.
wasn't really looking at the legume coupon. Leslie was looking for ads and words and names of people who, like family names, or people who are relevant in the war, or like political figures. He wants to know, from what he can gather from this news posting, if like the people who were in power are still in power. If he sees like their name and any like political propaganda, he just wants to try to get a feel of like the political landscape as much as he can post-war. And I know he probably can't glean much, but maybe he can get an idea of like how everything is postured, right? Like how everything is talked about. He'd like to try to maybe glean that from this board.
Fantastic. I have some questions for multiple people. One, Gracie, was Addy trying to be stealthy when she was taking this newspaper article, or was she just like rip it off, put in your bag, like pretty obvious?
She wouldn't have like been trying to make anyone
like,
notice, but she also didn't really care.
Okay.
Like it's just a piece of paper, but probably more erring on the side of stealth.
Okay. Well,
Leslie
if-
probably wasn't paying attention either, for the record.
that was going to be my next question. Is like, are you watching what Addy is doing while she's at the board, or are you just not caring about it?
No, I think Addy will do Addy, and
Man.
maybe it's better if I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm catching on.
Good take.
Well, if you're really concerned about it being stealthy, you can roll a stealth check, or we can just go with, he doesn't care.
Yeah,
I don't think
I'll
she
check.
cares enough either.
Groovy.
Okay, well, for the sake of it, I got an 18 anyways, which is pretty good.
Okay. You see that she takes off a piece of paper, puts it in her pocket, which you would have seen anyway. But you don't care.
Or
You don't
I
know
meant,
what's on it.
sorry, that was an 18. I was rolling stealth for myself.
Oh,
My bad.
Oh.
That's. I thought you were then asking me
well, in that case,
if I
Addy,
was being stealthy.
he looks very engrossed in this legume coupon.
Wow, they got
So
legumes for sale. See that? And he's like, they got legumes for sale, and he keeps looking.
You are distracted by the outfit. It definitely does help you not actually pay attention to anything that he's doing. It's like a flashbang of clothing.
The red Converse. It's just like, yeah. David Tennant over here.
Yeah. Leslie, you are scouring the board. The main thing that you noticed is a propaganda poster, very much in a like, we want you style, like Uncle Sam type, except the person who is featured on the advertisement is Lieutenant Ripper.
Oh, what? Okay, interesting. Huh. And can I tell, like, on this poster, can I tell, like, is this affiliated with some political group that I'm familiar with, or is this just
it
like a
is-
campaign sort of thing?
They're requesting people to move to Ouroboros to assist with their mining efforts. Basically,
God.
in the under the guise of like, this war hero needs your help in stabilizing the Ouroboran economy.
Oh God. Well, that's pretty rough. Wow. You just see Leslie. He'll take it. I think he'll
Take it
keep
in stride. Gotcha.
Well, I mean, he'll like take the
Take
poster.
the paper. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. He'll take the paper. I would like to ask as well: is Leslie familiar with the title holder, or at least the person that was attempting to be the title holder, the like devil of greed or devil of trade?
Yeah.
Was Leslie
you've
familiar
never-
with that figure, or just the efforts?
Even
themselves?
you have never seen them.
Okay.
You just know of their policies.
Okay.
In terms
That's one thing I
of
wanted to know.
what they wanted.
Well, I didn't see anything of note, so I guess I'll just follow you around and whatever you want to do, I guess.
Yeah.
You want to get a drink?
Yeah, actually, I'd really like to get a drink.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll go to the tavern.
I will say, because I don't think Leslie's being very discreet, and I think Leslie knows you probably don't care all that much. You can tell that Leslie seems pretty distraught and kind of pissed off about something. He's kind of wearing it on his chest. I'm just letting you know that.
For no reason.
Yeah,
We can-
I'd definitely like a drink. Yeah.
We can chat over a drink. How about that?
Fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds pretty nice, actually.
Are you just going to wander to try to find a tavern, or are you going to like ask for direction? I mean, it really doesn't matter.
I don't
No.
feel like talking to people. Do you?
Fantastic.
No.
The main tavern that you're able to find on the You Are Here map, which rotates conveniently so you're able to see your location.
It's like a giant circle. We're fighting people on the other side of the map. They're like, where are we?
No, I'm still trying to. Oh my gosh.
You are able to find an inn called the Tail's End, spelled Tail.
Okay.
That sounds
Sound
pretty good
good?
to me. Hopefully
do
they
it.
have Guinness.
Fantastic. Medora, are you with them, or are you?
I'm currently trying to get as like I'm tailing Taleth. Like I think I'm close enough to
Fantastic.
walking distance.
Are you trying to be stealthy, or are you trying to like?
No, I'm trying to be like,
Okay,
hey,
you're just
magic man,
Go.
hold up. My
Go.
legs still hurt. Goodness gracious, you walk too fast.
He stops
Keeping your head down and everything. Good God.
and turns, not even realizing that Medora followed him. Sorry.
Like, dang, you got your nose so friggin' high up, you wouldn't be able to drown in the waters of Bora Bora. Like, goodness gracious. Slow down.
Okay.
The two of you make your way through the crowds. Medora yelling at Taleth.
Mind you, he's like maybe 5 feet in front of me. And I'm just so pissed off because he keeps on walking too fast.
Your legs are too long. I swear.
Sorry, I have a 35 walking speed. Nothing I can do
shoot.
about it.
He has a
I
reason
think
why
mine's
he's fast.
30.
He is an in-lore reason as to why he's fast. That's unfair. You make your way to the hardened scales. It isn't that hard to find. It's a little, just a little shop. Not quite like the trinket shop like you had on the edge. This is your standard provisioner shop. And as a base glance, it's just a normal kind of like in a strip mall-esque setup with a bunch of individual shops next to each other. There's nothing strikes you particularly out of the ordinary on a base glance.
Okay. At this point, Melody will fly back down and land on my shoulder. And he'll turn to Medora and say, just so you know, I don't really know what's going to happen. I just was told that if I go to the shop, they might be able to help me like find something interesting. So like, I'm just saying, what's up?
Well, I was born that night, not last night. So whatever you got going on, Brainiers, whatever information you got, I want to know. So
That was
Okay.
so many words.
Yeah.
look, mind you, so the reason okay,
I love this. This is fantastic.
That was not a complaint. My brain was just like, oh.
The reason why I'm going so fast, for context, the after effects of the purple mushroom are still like happening.
Oh shoot.
It's like now the alcohol's worn off, so it's just still going. So I'm
Yeah,
just
now you
like,
have the adrenaline from the mushroom pumping through your body.
full berserker adrenaline.
Amazing.
Taleth turns. Is there like a bell, like a clerk's desk bell or something, or a person
you can just
there?
walk in. There's just a door. You can
Oh,
see people.
I see.
People behind the counter.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought like it was like a shop, like a doorside shop kind of thing. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, he walks
good.
in.
The bell rings. You see across the counter someone who has not similar features to Leslie, but kind of the same vibe, where you can tell that they have kind of like a more bestial heritage. Fun little lore fact about Ouroboros. It is the spawn of lycanthropy. Lycanthropy did not exist anywhere other than Ouroboros, because there's so many moons, until someone accidentally ended up spreading it onto Negomuris. The consequences of that, Leslie knows, and some of you may as well. But it was not good. And so there are quite a few shifters on Ouroboros and its surrounding moons, just because of the high density of moons that there are. There's a whole 12 of them. That's a lot of time to be a werewolf. But you walk in, this shifter is a male, a little shorter, kind of stocky. He has a rounded nose and pretty big ears. And he turns to you with these like kind of soft brown eyes. And he says, "Well, hey there, friend. What can I do you for?"
Hello, friend. I was just passing by. I'm new to town here, me and my friend here, and we were just trying to check out some of the local shops. And on our travels, I met somebody who I thought was very interesting and recommended your shop, actually. So we were just hoping to kind of take a look around, just kind of see what kind of interesting stuff you had, if that was all right.
Well, by all means, we've got all sorts of traveling necessities for you. Anything that you would need on your travels, if you're looking for a length of rope or an extendable 10-foot pole, or
10-foot pole.
you never
Extendable
know
10-foot
when you
pole.
need a 10-foot pole with you. Good for finding traps. You can hurdle some pits with it. You know, if you ever want to make the joke, I wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. You can demonstrate.
I like your words, Magic Man.
Well, I am trying to sell you a 10-foot pole that's extendable. I'm not much of a liar.
And my dear friend, I'm Taleth, by the way. What is your name?
Oh, heavens, I forgot my introduction.
10-foot
My
pole
name
guy.
is Garwick the Destroyer. How can I help you today? That's Garwick with a Y. The Destroyer is silent most of the time.
Most? Sorry.
Well, it's real hard to present myself as a helpful shopkeep when people know my last name's the Destroyer.
Chat has immediately gone to spelling Garwick with the Y in places that you wouldn't expect the Y to be.
Woo,
Garwick
okay.
with the Y.
All right. I love this
One
guy.
of them is correct. I don't know which one, but one of them is correct.
Right. So anyway, I was also I was told to inform you, and he will say mentally via the message cantrip into Garwick the Destroyer's psyche. Young Timothy sent me.
You immediately see kind of in the way that an animal bristle its fur, you will see a shiver run across him as he like narrows his soft brown eyes at you.
Oh, what'd you say to that dude?
He's actually mainly looking at Medora,
Huh?
and his response in his head is,
looking at me real funny.
I don't mean to alarm you, but I think you've got a tail.
He will respond, there's no need to be concerned. She is a recently acquired travel companion.
She trustworthy?
Dude, looking at me so funny. I don't like this.
Sounds like kind of like looks over his shoulder and he's like, yes.
Question mark?
Enough. We have something in common with Captain Leslie.
You see him, and do you say that mentally as well?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still over here freaking out. I'm like,
I'm sorry. We've been here for like 5 minutes and he's name dropped Captain Leslie to
Hey.
a stranger.
Hey, I don't
I
mind.
just have to point that
I don't
out.
mind.
Continue.
Hey, at least he didn't say it out loud, you know? He will kind of narrow his eyes even further. They're still incredibly large. It's kind of like you've made a cow very suspicious. He will say out loud, you know, looking at you, I think that you might be needing some of our stock in the bag. Would you mind coming with me so you can pick it out?
Somewhat subtly, Taleth will just give like a thumbs up behind his back to Medora. That way she doesn't like freak out.
oh, okay.
And
He
I'll
will,
just stay up
that-
front. And I'll just.
I mean, that's
he will-
very kind of you.
he will beckon you, Taleth, beyond the kind of velvet curtain that's at the back of the shop. As you pass through, he will turn to look at you, Medora, and he'll say, your friend there says that you're trustworthy.
Mhm.
Are you wanting to come along, or are you planning to stay here?
I'll come along, because no offense, sir, I can't trust your shop. So I'll follow.
Well, first of all, I take some offense to that.
Look, we just met. We just met. I'm sorry, sir.
My
Look,
shop is very well maintained and up
I
to
didn't say
OSHA
it was
regulations.
bad. I didn't say it was bad maintained, sir. I don't know what you got up here. I haven't had a chance to look, so I'll just follow.
Well, now your friend has dropped a couple of names. That means that I can deal with him, but I don't quite trust where you stand, so I'll need to have you take a test before you walk through the velvet curtain.
I've
Are
taken
you
a lot of
still all
tests.
right?
I'll try. I've taken a lot of tests ever since I was born, so I'll do it. What's up? I'll do it.
He will reach below the counter and he will pick up a piece of paper, and he will say, all you gotta do is draw our sign.
You got this.
Okay.
You got this, Jar Jar.
Not the sign of the shop, in case that was misleading at all, but the sign of us.
I'm gonna take my pen, my pencil, and the paper that was given. You know what? I'm just gonna guess because I just got this thing from the other dude. It looked like a really angry owl. So I think it's this one. I think that's like the best way to describe it. It's like an angry owl.
You write that symbol on the paper,
Yeah.
and the paper lights up for a moment and then just bursts into flame.
Oh.
And he says, now you might have been alarmed because normally fire means that something bad happened. But congratulations, you've passed our test.
Lucky me.
Come on down. Past the velvet curtain. And he will beckon you past the curtain as well. The two of you follow a deceptively long hallway in this like little strip mall area that you realize is at a slight decline and a curve. No steps or anything, just you like wheelchair accessible. And you descend this long curving hallway as the destroyer follows behind you. And eventually you are met with just a simple wooden door with a steel knocker that Garwick will walk over, and he will knock one time and he'll say, it's the destroyer. I've brought some guests from Tim. And the door will knock once again on the other side, and he will pull open the door. And you see kind of like an underground bar room that just has a bunch of rather nefarious looking people sitting around. They have cuts and scars. Some of them are missing limbs, eyes, teeth here and there. One of them is missing both a leg and an arm and has this like kind of silvery, gritty hair, more aged. And he'll say, welcome to the remainders of the resistance. What did Tim send you here for?
What did he send us here for, Taleth? Buddy, I try to get killed. Please tell us where's your
You hear the older fellow who's missing the arm and the leg. He'll speak up and he'll say, Garwick Boyle, what are you doing bringing strangers into the underground bar? I'm trying to drink in peace now. And Garwick will look over and say, oh, Bromley, old cad, get used to it. Maybe they're friends, and if not, we'll just kill them where they stand.
Ooh.
You also see that there is like, you know how like barkeeps will have like a shotgun under the counter in case they get like robbed. There's just a whole double-sided battle axe with engraved Garwick the Destroyer on it.
Nice.
Do you have that information yet, Taleth? I'm not trying to get killed right now.
Taleth will just kind of, like, honestly, with a slight smirk on his face, just kind of look around, just like look at all the people in the room, and just be like, "Yeah, this fits." And he'll just make his way over to the bar.
Oh, sorry, you just here for a drink, or did you need something from us? Because I can whip up a mean Sunday morning.
Sure, we'll take 2.
Fantastic. And he'll walk behind the bar, and he takes out a shaker and starts just pouring in alcohol. But his shake is like,
Nice.
Oh.
As they wait for the drinks, in Medora's head, she will hear from Taleth. Now look, like I said before, I have no idea what to expect from this, so I'm just gonna kind of go with it for now. If you would rather reconvene with the others, that's totally fine.
Look, I guess I'm saying it telepathically back, even though it hurts my brain because my brain still hurts from the night before.
Yeah.
Look, you're a weird man, but you give off something that I need. And
Oh.
I feel like I need to keep you as a good acquaintance.
I'm going to
But
take
if
that
you
as a
cross
compliment.
if you cross me, I'll knock you into the middle of next week looking for both ways for Sunday.
Sweating.
I love it.
Eventually,
Noted.
Garrick will finish whatever a Sunday morning is.
Great.
And he pours it. It actually is kind of a. He pours 2 glasses. It is kind of a rainbow looking mixture. It has a lot of blues and purples with a green undertone. You can the smell of liquor stings your eyes, like it is strong. But there's also kind of a menthol undertone. So you feel like it'll wake you up, but also put you to sleep. It's kind of a mess.
Interesting. He takes a sip of it. He's like,
Yeah. It'll have you praying to God. That's why we call it a Sunday morning.
very, very, very clever of you to name it that.
Thank you. My wife came up with it.
I see. She must have been a very a smart woman.
Yes, Mrs. the Destroyer. Finest gal I've ever laid eyes on. But less about me. I'm sure that you had something more with you instead of just asking for a drink. Although if not, I appreciate the compliment.
Well, you see, when I met up with young Timothy, I was inquiring a bit more about his old captain, Leslie, and he had actually recommended that I perhaps come here and talk to you. And he said something about how you might be more open to possible trade relations.
How loud are you saying this?
Very, very hushly, just to him.
Okay. Well, he'll lean in and he'll say, well, we're always looking for distributors to either smuggle our people or our goods to various locations. So we'd be very happy if we could get access to another couple of smugglers. Are you willing to transport very illegal goods to various locations within the sector?
Yeah, I would say so.
Under the guise of darkness that will definitely result in your death if captured?
Well, we would try to aim to avoid that, but sure, yeah.
Well, any smuggler worth their salt would. I don't know a smuggler that would be trying to get caught unless you were going to stab us in the back, which wouldn't be the first time that's happened. But you know, old Bethany here, and he pats the double-bladed axe, is real good at covering my behind.
Alex just looks up at the thing.
It's like
Right.
stained with blood.
Now, and just because I am curious, as he kind of like takes a quick gander around, is anyone here old acquaintances of the captain?
Well, all of us knew him kind of in spirit. He was the symbol of the revolution. For a good long while, he was the thing that kept us going. Some of us knew him in person. I saw him from a distance when our ships were docked at the same grotto. That fellow over there knows him real good. And he points at the silver-haired guy that kind of jeered at you when you walked in.
Okay, great. Okay. Thank you very much. If you don't mind, I think I might be quite interested in speaking with him just for a little bit.
Be careful. His bite is just as bad as his bark. He's an old dog, but he's still got teeth.
Good to know.
You head over to the kind of, you can tell that at one point in time, he may have like been very well maintained. Like you can tell that he is wearing kind of similar to your garb, where it's like at one point in time, this would have maybe considered finery.
Mm-hmm.
You can see sitting on the table is a very classic tricorn, like pirate hat that is ragged and beaten and battered. He has a peg leg, a hook for a hand, a cutlass at his hip. He is like one of the most piratey pirates you've ever seen.
Okay, cool.
He is drinking something very dark out of a mug.
As I approach DM, do I recognize him at all from the memory?
No.
No.
You
okay.
don't even have to roll a check for this. You do not remember him anywhere on that ship.
Okay, cool. He will approach. Excuse me, good sir. Might I have a word with you just for a minute?
What's in it for me? You're buying a minute of my time, are you?
He'll put down a couple coins.
You see him look over and he says, "Silvers for Captain Silvers, I suppose.
Ooh.
What can I do you for?"
Ooh. He sits down. I was curious, actually. I'm Captain Silvers. Is that your name by happenstance?
Well, my full name is Bromley Marrow, but they call me Captain Silvers. Well, they don't anymore. But there was a time, I suppose, when that's what I went by. Now I'm just old Bromley, sitting and drinking below the ground. And how about you fine fellow, with your serpent tongue and your bag full of pennies?
The name is Taleth.
I'll try to hold it in my memory, but anymore it ain't so reliable.
No need to be concerned, good friend. I am curious, how does one who was once known as Captain Silvers end up in a place like this?
It's not too uncommon a story. You see, there was a time when I was a fine smuggler, perhaps the finest of them all. But as a man grows old, he starts looking for a way to settle down, and my debts were yet unpaid. So I struck up a deal with the fine government of Ouroboros. And like all governments, they ended up stabbing me in the back and leaving me for dead. I suppose technically they never really betrayed me. I suppose.
Why would you say that?
Well, you see, it was all in the fine print, boyo. And I thought I was the best at scamming people out of their money and lives. But here I am. You aren't from around here, are you?
No, I'm not very familiar with Orpor at all. Actually, first time that I've been to these lands, but I hear quite a lot of tale about a rebellion that once struck these lands.
Rebellion it was, boy. So what are you here for, trying to make your money off of the blood of others, fighting for a cause that isn't yours?
Oh, no, not at all. I'm quite interested in my own goals and not dying before that happens. But I am curious about people who have stories and connections that I can maybe levy.
My connections are dead and gone. So am I, for the most part. They took my ship. They took my arm. They're taking every last day I have. So here I am. A turncoat to the end, Captain Bromley Silvers. Is that enough of a story for you? It's a bit of a bummer at the end.
And what is your relation to the Captain Leslie?
Well, I was the one that killed him.
Wait now. Well, that is quite a feat if that's true.
Well, of course, they'll all tell you that it was Captain Amara Ripper, or Lieutenant Ripper, as she was known at the time. She may have been the one with the blade, friend, but I was the one with the hand on it. One of the worst mistakes I've ever made. But if there's one thing
Ripper,
that I do...
or killing the captain.
No, trusting Ripper's a fine thing. She never goes back on her word when she's making a promise. Thinking that I could saddle up alongside them nobles and have my crimes pardoned and live a free life amongst them. That was a foolish thought by a foolish old man. Whether a man lives or dies doesn't matter to me. I don't know if he was a fine man or a terrible one, whether he was a figurehead or a mastermind. What I do know is he seemed like a fine captain, and he captained a fine ship.
High praise from his enemy.
I was never really his enemy, truth be told. I wouldn't hold nothing against the captain. Frankly, if he were still alive. Well, I hope that he would come along, gut me back to belly, leave me for dead. Let the body go with the name, eh?
You are a strange one, I will say that. But that's not much coming from me, after all. I am quite strange myself. But you seem to be a man of integrity. That's for sure.
I was wrong about you. I thought you had a good eye.
Oh, no. I mean, you are a swindle and would find any way to win. But that's the integrity that you have. You want to be the one to come out on top. Otherwise, it's not worth living, right?
It isn't a matter of living or dying. It's doing what you're good at. And you're right. If you think integrity is being good at something, then I was the best. But a captain ain't a captain without a ship.
And what happened to your ship?
It was dismantled by Ouroboros. The last fine, since I said that I didn't want to keep working for him.
Well, I appreciate your time. Sorry to bring up old memories.
By all means, I've got nothing else to think about anymore. I appreciate it for the silvers.
He'll toss him one more before getting up.
You will see him stack them up, slide him to the other of the table, and then motion over to Garwick, who immediately comes over, sweeps him off the table, and hands him another mug.
And as Garwick comes back to the bar, Taleth will just kind of lean in and say, "Now, does this back-end storefront have any interesting goods, perhaps, for people in dangerous employment?"
Well, we are in the business of providing any sort of mischievous requirements that you may be looking for, as long as it's for the cause. We also deal in information, and if you need any assistance getting somewhere or doing something, we have informants and people located all over the place. If you're looking to buy something, we have plenty of unsolicited goods, let's say. Weapons, explosives, got a couple of vintage rifles in the back, poisons, the left hand of at least 3 assassins. Most of them weren't ours. You never know when you need a good hand, right? But yeah, we can provide plenty of things. Are you looking for anything in particular, or just looking to browse?
I'm looking to browse, but mostly was thinking about perhaps something along the line of a health potion or two. Or perhaps knowledge as to where I might acquire one.
We've got... What type of health potions are you looking for? Are you looking for top of the line, or are you looking for just your standard?
I'm not quite sure I could afford top of the line right now. Just some standard stuff would do.
That's good, because we don't like selling the top of the line, seeing as how they're made. Well, at least these ones. But yeah, I suppose we could supply you some kind of standard health potions here and there. We don't have a lot to spare because we need them for agents in the field. But
I understand.
We could probably set you up with about 3, if that's fine.
That would be wonderful. Yes, thank you.
Excellent. Now, in order to keep our wares untracked, we do traditionally use Nico-Murian currency. If you happen to have that on you, I'm sure that you probably do.
Well, I do actually, by pure happenstance.
I got a question for you, Mr. Destroyer Barhop, good sir.
By all means, little lady, what can I help you with?
It seems that you all know Captain Leslie pretty well. Do you possibly happen by chance have a bottle or on tap of his favorite brew?
Well, come to think of it, I didn't know him that well. Let's see. What is... Ooh, this is interesting.
I just want to see what the captain tasted before he died, you know? That's just...
He will head over into the back and is like, give me just a minute. You hear him rifle the clinking of bottles. And he comes back with... It almost looks like it's made of metal, but it's just an incredibly reflective glass. And he says, "This is Flash and Steel whiskey. The bit of that I know of Captain Leslie is, at least in the stories they tell him about him, is that he liked his liquor strong and fierce. That would burn his throat as it was going down, but he would fight against the flames, being the valiant hero that he was. He could hold his liquor for sure. I mean, he drank with Keen Loon, who was, he was a hell of a drinker. I knew him pretty well because he frequented the bar. But I never drank with him myself. It would be a history check from you. Specifically from you, because you might actually know the name Keen Loon.
That would be a 14.
You do not know the name Keen Loon. It is a small chance that you would know it. Are you paying for the whole bottle, or do you just want a glass?
I know that kind of stuff is too expensive. I knew too many people that also drank it too. Give me like a little small shooter bottle if you can.
I could fill one up for you if you want it to go. Seal it nice.
That'll be fine. That'll be just fine.
Perfect. He'll head over, fill up a little like shot shooter of flashing steel whiskey. And he'll say, that'll just be 10 silvers.
Here you go.
I know that
They're all
we
like-
set up this bit currency and then now we're not using it. But economy is hard, everybody.
My silver is sadly all covered in like mud. Don't question it.
He picks
is
it
just
up and he
covered in
says,
mud.
silver. And he just throws it in like the cash register and slides you the shooter. What were you? I can't remember. Were you already going to buy something, Drew?
Just the health potions really was the main thing.
Oh, absolutely. He says, well, for the 3 health potions, we'll just call it even at 2 gold if you got it.
Sounds mighty fine to me. And he'll hand 2 gold.
Perfect.
It's gracious, you have.
Drew, write that down.
You wealthy.
We're gonna need those.
Yes,
Addy will need those if there's any
No,
steam
she doesn't.
around. If there's
She
any
has
steam-
second wind and she forgot
Right,
about
right,
it. She can heal herself.
And then
Don't
he will
talk about
also,
it.
with the gold, he will also give the destroyer. Oh my word, Garrick, the destroyer,
with a Y.
yes, with a Y. He will give him his business card of Safrax Trading Company.
Writes a friend of Captain Leslie on his card.
And say, if you need to get in contact with me, you'll need this.
Fantastic, new friend. I hope that our relationship contributes to the revolution and we're able to take back our homes, our lives, our families, and our friends. Feel free to stay here as long as you want, but we don't have bunks, so you're going to have to leave once it gets closer to nighttime.
Oh, no, that is quite all right, actually. I think it is probably getting time that we need to head out for now. But it was a pleasure meeting you, and thank you for your kind hospitality.
By all means, and feel free to come on back if you're just looking for a drink, you want to talk, or you're looking to blow something up or poison someone. An assassination is something we can do. If you need any information, feel free to ask.
Actually, one thing that did just come to mind. Has there been any news updating any of the sectors wanted?
Oh, well, those are updated pretty regularly. There haven't been any huge shifts. Pretty much the same old. People committed some crimes. Some people have died, so their bounties have either been turned in or just ended. Nothing too extensive from what I know off the top of my head. We've been a little preoccupied to keep an eye out on bounty hunting.
Oh, no, not a problem at all.
Some rising star running around, killing a bunch of other rising stars. Mysterious, like, serial killer. That was interesting.
That is interesting. Well, I'll make sure that I'm not next on that list.
I'm sure you're not famous enough for it.
Ooh.
Roasted.
And he will say, well, thank you, and he will walk out the door.
Fantastic. Goodbye. Feel free to come on back. Hope you enjoyed your journey. The two of you will begin your journey. You know where Addy and Leslie are because you're familiar with them. Speaking of Addy and their Leslie, you two are currently residing at the place that I mentioned, Tail's End.
Tails.
Yes.
End.
Which is also a bit of a pun because I love making the inn named pun because when the Halloween happens, Piran is the tail of the snake that is eating his own tail, which is what the moons represent.
Oh, very clever, DM.
Like it,
Which
like
is
it.
smart.
which is also called an Ouroboros.
Yeah.
That's what I knew.
Mhm.
You mentioned snakes and stuff.
It's
Mhm.
got layers.
Snake snake.
Oh yeah. Oh, these names have a lot of deep meaning that I'm sure that you can probably pick up on if you think about it real hard.
My character's name's Do too. I'm sure you,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Bear.
Uh-huh.
I put a lot of thought into that one.
Yeah, even though he's a lion.
I have. There's actually a story. I want, you know,
We'll
you
get
guys
to it,
will
we'll
hear
get
the
to
story
it.
at some
Another
time.
day.
Stay tuned for the story of why Leslie is named Bear Dungeoneers.
Gotta keep watching.
Not clickbait. I
Gone wrong.
imagine that we've like gone to this inn and we've pretty much stayed in silence up to the point where we have our drinks and we're sipping on our drinks. That's how I picture it. Would you agree with that, Addy?
Set that scene.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
You know, it's kind of bustling. We're just sitting a little secluded quietly. Leslie takes a stiff sip. And then he sort of just tilts his head over to Addy. I thought I knew the answer to this, but I'm starting to reconsider. And you seem like the kind of person that might know the answer to this question, or at least have an opinion on it. How do you know what someone deserves?
Hmm. Depends on who they've hurt.
So let's say this person has hurt many, or at least hurt people you care about. What kinds of things are the right things to do? Do you hurt them? Do you let them go?
Have they changed?
I don't think so.
Burn everything they have to the ground.
And you think that's the right thing?
To me? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. There are fires everywhere. Why not start one too? You put them out, make it balanced. Just make
And
sure
what-
that they deserve it.
All right. And what about the people who do good? What do they deserve?
Your compassion, your appreciation.
Okay. See, on Nico Muris, I never thought I'd see the people who've wronged me. Never thought I'd have the chance to even consider this question really. And I think I felt peace by accepting the fact that I couldn't do anything about it. But being here again, being so close to everything, well, it doesn't sit right with me.
Opens up old wounds. I get it. I do.
But it's confusing because I thought that those wounds have closed. I thought those wounds were healed.
Healing isn't linear. It never is. There's always going to be scars.
I need you to know about me. I need you to know what's happening here. Because someone needs to.
Okay.
And I don't know what you might be able to do with this information for yourself, but I can assure you that whatever that might be, you'd be in trouble too. And I trust that you're somebody that stays out of trouble, which is why I feel I can tell you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
I was more than a captain here. I was an idea. People talked about me like they talked about the end of the war. I was the chance, the slim likelihood that we'd make it out and life would go back to normal. That was me. And to be honest, that was more than I could bear most of the time. Because I'm Captain Leslie, but really, deep down, I'm just Leslie. Now, I need you to understand that my right hand, the one that was helping me cast that idea into the world, the one that was encouraging people to fight for themselves, that right hand became the idea for the very thing we were trying to fight. And it turns out they're still here. And they're still that idea. They have become the natural opposite of what we fought for, which was each other.
Hmm.
And now standing here, knowing that that's the case, I just don't know what to do with myself. It's like I'm all stirred up inside, and it's like I need to move, I need to do something, but I don't know quite what that is. I have so much rage that I haven't felt in so long. And
Yeah.
if it wasn't for Captain Silvers, I don't know if this would have happened. I think Ripper, for the record, that's the person. That's my right hand. I think Ripper does what Ripper thinks is right. And unfortunately, I think this Captain Silvers convinced Ripper otherwise. Which is why I have a hard time knowing what Ripper deserves. Because I know Ripper was just doing what she believed was right.
You sure? Because from what it sounds like, complete 180 like that isn't just from someone else.
You really think so?
You know her. I don't. But if it were me in your shoes, I'd burn it to the ground.
That's what I should do. You really think so? Me here now.
That's what I would do.
Hmm.
You're not me. I'm not you. But if it were me, start a fire.
Oh, this sucks. This was the last thing I wanted to do.
I'll do it. I'll start a fire for you.
Oh God. I don't know. Maybe things are better this way. Things don't seem all that bad. But I haven't seen the
You
other
sure?
moons yet.
I
I don't know.
Here it's just shill after shill.
That's true.
Do you
I
know
didn't-
how many people here live on Piran?
You know, I really don't.
And
I
how
didn't know
many
much
of the
about
people
Piran.
here are living in the lavish buildings?
Hmm.
Because they all look like fancy hotels to me. I don't think that's a permanent residence, unless I'm wrong.
No, you're right. I mean, that's all we ever were, was impermanent. It didn't matter what happened to us. It didn't matter what happened to our homes. They saw it as an opportunity and they took it. And they got it. Despite our best efforts.
So
Maybe you're
burn
right.
to the- Just do it.
You're a bad influence. And he takes a big swig.
I
Takes a
know.
big swig.
Dang, why don't
I've
you take
ta-
that big
I've
sip,
spent-
man?
I've spent decades accepting the truth, accepting that I can't change it. And that feels like the safe option. But you've planted the seed. I'll mull it over. I'll sleep on it.
All right.
Okay?
You do you.
But I do feel better after talking about it a bit.
I'm glad.
But
Thank
I'm
you.
still mad.
Mad.
Yeah. You know, rage
Oh,
and all that.
yeah.
I mentioned it.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, that's what the
Great.
fire is for.
Well, let's lay low. Let's find a place to stay.
More
Thankfully, this is this is a full inn. It has a tavern, and it also has places to sleep if necessary.
Perfect.
Assuming that the rest of the group doesn't have any stops, do you head to the inn where everyone else is?
yeah, I walk in, it's like, man, this place is nice. It's a little too nice for me. I don't like this. Something's fishy. Get it?
Ah! Leslie's just weeping. and Addy's like patting him on the back.
I probably should.
Why is it always me?
I
Oh, hey,
love
God.
that
It's great.
so much.
It's great.
That Addy, the least equipped to deal with emotions,
It's dealing
is
with everyone.
always the one dealing with emotions. Real quick, would anyone be interested in eavesdropping while you're here? Who eavesdropped the last time?
Everybody.
I'm seeing hands go
Uh,
up.
I think
I
I,
think-
did it last
I think it
time
was
because
Jar
it
Jar
was
last time,
the TV show.
It was Jar Jar. All right.
Yes, we got-
roll off
I'll give it to
between you two.
I'll give it to Addy since
You'll
she's
give it
been
to
here
Addy?
longer.
Please roll a D100 for me.
Okay.
Let's go, Addy. Whoa.
Ooh.
A 71.
A 71. Ra-ba-ba-da-da-da-da-da. Wait, let's see.
That's the 71 sound. He makes that noise anytime a 71 happens. I want you to have a different sound for every single number. There needs to be a separate table that
100?
has the like
God, that's so many. It's
the
so many noises.
photonics. Is that the phonetics of every
Phonetics?
sound? It's
Yeah.
a separate table.
Learning with phonics, but it's just noises. We are nailing the rolls today. The bard who has been hired for the tavern has been getting settled this entire time while you guys are there. And he begins to play a pretty well-known tune. Actually, all of you know it. It is a very famous song by the
I take
acclaimed...
my whiskey neat.
No.
I'm sorry. Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, it is by the acclaimed musical duo of Briar and Rose, and it is titled "My Star Anise." It is a rousing ballad that is about their family, their newborn daughter. This was a song written in her honor. and it is one of their most popular songs. It charted in the top 5. It would have gotten higher actually, but it's a little sappy even for the common listener. Like you can't stand to listen to it too much because it is almost too happy. It's kind of listening to that like, clap your hand if you feel like a room without a roof, and you like listen to it and you're like, that's catchy, but I kind of hate myself. And that's my star anise. So that begins to play throughout the tavern. It kind of brightens the mood, you know? People are happy to hear it. That's it.
Amazing. Wow.
So as Taleth and Medora approach Bear, who's apparently weeping, and Addy,
You really had to
Bear,
start talking about my childhood pet, didn't you?
Sorry, man. It was just
okay, you're right.
snake.
You know what? I'm not leaving Addy with either one of you guys ever again. Jeez Louise, I can't handle
Man,
this.
okay, mine was
If you do
I
it
was
again, I'll kill you.
intoxicated.
And he reaches out his hand and puts it on Bear's like opposite shoulder, opposite of where Addy's hand is, comforting him, and Sirius will kind of slither across Addy's arm on the other side of Bear's shoulder, and then back onto Taleth's arm.
You're fine.
Wait, I do the thing. DM.
Do you like
Yeah.
the wave?
I scoop it up with my hand.
You snake
Down my shoulders.
You snake
I'll
down
that'll punch you in the
Sirius.
chest.
While this is happening, one of the people in this tavern is actually going to walk over, and he'll look over and specifically addressing Addy and Medora, he'll say, I'm sorry, I don't mean to intrude on whatever's going on here with the snake, but I've noticed that you two could really use some better company.
I punch him in the face.
Wait, hold on, Addy, hold on.
I think it already happened.
Wait,
With that
Wait, hold
attack
on,
roll,
no,
this is where the episode is going to end tonight.
What was the
Thank you
snake gonna
everybody
do?
for thank you everybody for tuning in to episode 3 of thank you for joining us at our table here tonight. A couple of things before we go. If you want to support us, check out our Patreon is one way. I will theoretically, as long as I do my job correctly, it will be updated this week. Additionally, you can support us by subscribing to YouTube, Twitch, gosh dang, do whatever you do with the podcast. There's like a million different words you can say for what to do with the podcast. Do that. And tell your friends about us, you know, bring them along. Tell your friends, tell your family. It'll be great. Also check out our Discord. We're improving it slowly and steadily. Thank you to our Kickstarters. Once again, you are very important to us. We are getting your deliverables to you as quickly as we can. Keep an eye on your emails and fill out your surveys. If you haven't filled them out, fill them out. Please do. I'm trying to make sure that there isn't anything else that I need to talk about at the end of this, and I do not believe so.
Drew, do have a heart. Do have a heart on your side. Do have a heart on your side.
Oh, you want me to do the thing
okay.
with,
You don't do
with
me.
you? Here, hold on.
Yeah.
This is a very enjoyable thing that I'm experiencing. I like how Drew's is just a C.
I'm just trying to line it up properly.
Yay, that's so good. Okay, say the thing. Say the thing before we lose it.
The only thing that I have to say is the same thing I say every week. Good luck and Godspeed, everyone. We will see you next time, Dungeoneers, on a Monday night. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Farewell.
Bye.